live on YouTube.
Awesome.
Welcome
Welcome.
to the ultimate in anime drawing foundations.
Oh. It sounds
I'm
like
kidding.
live class maybe coming up.
No, I was gonna have like this. Welcome.
Oh, that's fun. Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, do your like a trailer voice? Do you have a trailer voice?
In a world
In
where
a wo-
drawing is frustrating, one school stands apart.
Wait.
The students must battle to become.
Anime Academy.
One
How is
school to rule them
everybody
all?
doing?
You know, that's actually not a bad idea for like if we were to make an ad for anime art school, you'd make that script. That'd be sick. Are you okay?
Welcome everybody. Dahlia Pearly, Jera, Creative, Prodigy. Ooh, no red 40 today.
We got orange for I don't know. Well, what's the orange equivalent of a food coloring?
Yeah,
Maybe that's something to ask ChatGPT or something.
we have slid a little bit warmer into the color
Into
wheel.
the color wheel. Yep.
Actually, early today. That's awesome. Welcome
Welcome to
early
class.
gang. Can we get some early gangs in the chat?
Class
Can we get
is
some early gangs in the chat?
Chata.
I'm gonna ping the Discord and then we will go into Anatomy Mondays.
Yes.
I need like an echo. I need like a voice filter thing so it's like Anatomy Monday. You know, the echo.
Yeah, the echo. That'd be
Wait,
sick.
how do we do that? Does anybody know how to do that?
I don't know. I don't know how to do voice changer stuff. I've always wanted to get the voice changer where it's like that cat going like so in order to draw anatomy. What if
That's
I
so
just taught
funny.
anatomy just with that voice? So in order to talk about anatomy, we must learn proportions first.
That's funny. Add some reverb to it. I don't have anything to do that. I don't think.
I believe there are packs you can purchase for voice changers. Ooh, artist scrumptious. Thank you. I barely even got started. Hey, Lindsay.
Soundboards, audio mixer.
We're figuring out voice stuff. Anatomy Monday. Yes, Pompoof. We are doing some Anatomy Monday. We don't have a... We're going to do something a bit different. We're going to answer anatomy-related questions, not necessarily have a topic, because we kind of cover a lot of topics these days, and we're going to try something different. So this time it's going to be more Q&A style. So if you have any questions relating to anatomy and we think it's interesting to answer, then we'll cover it.
Volume controller. I don't think I have anything at the moment. I'd have to get something and experiment with it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anatomy Monday.
Is the upper arm longer than the forearm? Because I always struggle with where to put the wide part of the forearm.
What was Ognian saying about overlapping like the upper arm and the lower arm? What was he saying? He was like, if you do this and then the hand, it's like okay. But if you do this and then the lower arm, which one was it? Is this one?
I think it's that one. That one feels more accurate.
Yeah, to me it feels good. So
No? So that one's not the
or
right one?
yeah, this one is. Sorry. I have these this one is, you probably don't want to do this. Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
I feel
one of these is okay and one of these is not. Like upper arm, right? So like here's the head and the neck.
I feel like that one's the correct one. It feels
one?
like it to me.
Let's see. Let's like
But I usually
draw it out. You usually do this.
I usually do that because I connect the cylinders together.
Yeah. I don't remember. I never do this, so I don't know which one.
Yeah,
I
but
never
like that's
do that.
not bad either because that could be simplified into an elbow just as easily, too.
Because like technically they're very much the same length, although
Yeah.
the hand is extra on the bottom.
Yeah, like if you
But
look here.
you can kind of use a shorthand.
So like just take this measurement, well assuming mine is correct. So like from the top of the deltoid to the elbow, and then you move it down. Like from the elbow to the wrist, like this part and this part's actually the same. The hand is extra. So like if the forearm and the hand was combined together, yes, it will be much longer. So like what I do for arms is I will like draw a line, divide that in half. Here's my upper arm. Here's my lower arm. This is like where your elbow is, and this gets a little bit wider, and then your hand is extra. It's like maybe like a four. Let me think. What if I divided this into thirds? Maybe like this is an extra third.
What was he?
That feels pretty correct. It feels good.
I never did find the answer.
Oh, I don't know.
We never did figure it
We
out.
never did figure it out.
One of them is fine to do. The other one feels awkward, but I don't remember which one because I'd hate to because technically you can kind of make both of them look okay.
Yeah.
It's probably the bottom.
And then you can add like extra stuff like your muscles and whatnot. But I would say your proportions like this, I feel like this feels generally correct. Yeah. I mean, you can always just test it. You know, we can try like one way where you start with off of the forearm first and stuff. But I like to go with the simplest and then I turn it and I make it a little bit more nuanced later on. Sometimes I draw better when not using structure lines and just drawing with ink from reference. It becomes stiff.
Huh?
So I think it's great to use like structure lines. I don't exactly know how you're doing it, but sometimes when you draw like, let's say you make proportion lines and stuff and you're like drawing guidelines, sometimes if you stick to it too much, like you're forcing yourself to like fit your character in this like very like rigid structure. It's almost like a self-imposed rule. Like then it will tend to look very stiff. But if you're like, okay, I'm just going to draw a guide where it's like, okay, this is roughly where my pelvis is going to be. This is roughly where my upper body is going to be. And I can like modify it, but like I need to keep it in general in this direction. You're probably going to, your gesture drawing or whatever drawing that you're doing is going to be more flowy. So like use it as not as like a rigid way, but as more of like a guide. If that makes sense.
Think of it like the path think of it like a path that water is flowing down. The water is not going to stick exactly on that path all the time. It's going to kind of slosh left and slosh right, but the path is directing the overall flow. So that's like gesture. It's like the overall general flow. It's like you want everything kind of going there. And the reason you want to use gestures is because it makes it easy for the brain to see what's going on. Right?
Yeah. I think it's mentality and different ways that you're using it as well. So like this feels very gestural. But it's because I'm like, well, maybe I put the initial feet too short. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Just change it. Boop. And you're not like controlled by the initial structure. The structure is working for you.
So is this a gesture question? What was they said something about structure?
Yeah. Sometimes I draw better when not using structure lines. I didn't.
There's different kinds of structure lines.
Yes.
Like structure just means like, underlying foundation of something. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? It becomes stiff. I have trouble with drawing arms and legs. For real, me too.
How do you attach the arm to the torso? It always looks like it's digging into the body. Let's see. So when I draw like my torso, I will include the length of my clavicle. And then I will also kind of add like a little armhole. So like here, your torso is kind of like think of it like a shirt or like a separate compartment, like a robot in a way. You're gonna have a joint that goes into there's like a socket, right, that the bone goes into. And so if you place your arm too close to the neck like this, it's going to look like it's sticking into the body, like it's jabbing into it. However, if you take into account the actual length of the clavicle, which is about 1 hand length apart on both sides, this is kind of like where your shoulder starts. But because if it's like foreshortened, you're going to get a bit of overlap. So like this will include like the sphere of your deltoid, or like the round form of your deltoid, and this right here will be like your armpit area. And so now when you have that in mind, this is the edge of your clavicle, here's your, like your shoulder area. Now it doesn't feel as like sticking into it. Does that make sense?
Do you teach gesture in the academy course? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the figure drawing class. I have a hard time applying my poses into warped perspectives. That's because you're doing everything plus like 3 extra things that are counterintuitive. So, you know, if you, how about you want to like pose that? How about this, right?
Yeah.
Let's just pose this dude. I don't even know. Like something like this, right? Pretty simple pose, dumb pose, but pretty simple. All right. So if you want to put him into a warped perspective, let me try to get this to stand. There we go.
Okay.
So he's standing, right? Can you? So you got, here's a fisheye lens. So if you want to do this, draw this guy in a fisheye lens, you're drawing the entire pose still, and it's just as difficult as drawing a normal pose, except now you're doing it with a filter on top that distorts it into something that's very counterintuitive because we don't see the world this way.
That's very true.
So you basically have to be really good at drawing poses and also really good at understanding this distortion, and then you mix them together at the same time. So it's like extremely difficult to do that. That is,
yeah.
Yes, everybody has trouble with it because it's like riding a unicycle and juggling flaming chainsaws and you know, doing a song on a harmonica, and now you're blindfolded and you have to go up a ramp on a unicycle and go through a flaming hoop. So it's like you're juggling a lot of stuff at the same time. That's why it's so difficult.
Do you have advice for keeping proportions correct during gesture? I think you just have to keep an eye on it. Like, know your proportions, and then as you're doing a gesture, you're keeping the proportions in mind. Like, your gesture includes proportion, and like, so like, let's say, oh, I know that this is not halfway. This doesn't feel halfway for this pose. So instead, I'm gonna mark it here. Okay, now I have a better idea. This is gonna be my upper body. This is gonna be my lower body. Something as simple as just dividing things in halves, right? Thinking holistically first by thinking about the overall length rather than starting from top to bottom. Like, okay, here, and here's my shoulders, and maybe here's my arms, and maybe here's my legs. You know, like this feels very like guesswork. This is like, okay, I have established my gesture and my height. Now I gotta split it.
Thank you very much. I'll stay away from that a bit for now. I don't necessarily think you need to stay away from it so much as it's a very structured process. Like, like it's kind of like jumping past all of flight school. Like, you know, if you want to be like a fighter pilot, like you got to go to flight school and you learn all the basics and you practice things, repetition over and over, instead of jumping to the very end where you're like, I want to try and shoot down enemies. So it's not that you should necessarily avoid it. It's just kind of try to approach it in a really structured way where you're like taking things one step at a time, and then later you're combining them, like you're practicing them enough. I recommend if you actually really want to draw like poses in fisheye lenses in extreme cameras, check out Gene Bond on YouTube. Can you write his thing?
Yes, I can write his name.
Gene Bond art. He does a lot of drawing of characters and environments in fisheye lenses, and he does it all traditionally with just pencil, pen, and paper. And he does these really long live streams on YouTube. He's very good at perspective He teaches it all. So if you absolutely want to know, I would recommend checking him out. We're actually going to be doing another live stream with him sometime.
Yeah. Where can I watch replays of the streams, or are there none? There are replays. It's on our YouTube channel. We're also live on there as well. So it's Draw Anime Academy on YouTube.
Yeah, same username on YouTube. We're live there right now. It's actually a much better viewing experience.
It really is. Much better. You'll be able to see the iPad like way better.
So I was wondering, do you draw from your imagination, or do you trace from your imagination? Trace from what you see in your imagination? No, it's more like constructing. It's like...
Right.
It's like a, how do you, no, you don't trace it. It's not like some sort of like photographic memory where you just trace the lines. It's like a construction thing. I can't say for other people, you know, I don't know for Christina.
I don't trace from my brain. It's like, my brain is not a projector that I'm tracing from, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm just reverse engineering from my imagination.
Think about like talking, right? Like when you're talking, you kind of think about like what you want to say, and you know the words and like the format, how to format the sentence. Drawing is kind of that way. You go, well, if I want to show a particular thing, I'm going to draw it from this particular angle, and I know that this is kind of simplified into a box, so maybe I'll start with that. It's like a language.
Yeah.
I would definitely say it similarly to like a language. Or like writing like an essay, right? You get out like a rough draft to kind of get what you're thinking down, and then you go back in and refine it and edit it. And that's kind of like doing the sketches and then refining it and then checking your perspective, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, this is the model, the figure, by the way, that we were showing earlier. So this is the name. It's quite expensive, but you can get it on Amazon. Just search this up. There's knockoff versions of this, but this is the real thing.
What was that comment earlier? Triceps brachialis, deltoid. I think it's better to straight up learn the muscles like doctors than simplify them. I completely disagree with that. I don't actually think most artists take that approach, and most professional artists actually don't recommend that approach. And one of my friends, he's an art director at a big studio. He has aphantasia, and he literally was just like, yeah, I tried doing that and I couldn't. So he like learns the functions of the muscles because he can't like picture them, and he doesn't remember. He doesn't actually know any of the muscle names. And so he's like, remember when he was telling us about that?
Yep, I remember that.
He's like, yeah, like the tricep, I know it like connects here on the scapula. I know it connects there, right there. And I know the function that it performs. So he can kind of like reverse engineer that. But a lot of people don't do that or recommend it. Take most figure drawing classes, unless you're taking something from like, you know, Ray Bustos, which is like a really analytical figured or anatomy class where you learn all of the muscle names and stuff. You don't need that at all to draw characters. You don't need to know the muscle names. You just need to know like the main volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can absolutely, especially if you want to like teach them. But most artists that I know don't recommend that at all.
Yeah.
It's like a way you can do it.
I think it's like if it works for you, do it. But I don't necessarily think it works for everyone. Like for me, I learned anatomy by drawing a bunch of the muscles and naming them and knowing their names, and that for me helps because I also teach it. So,
yeah.
But I definitely would not say that's the only way, because people learn differently.
Should I be thinking about perspective and vanishing points when trying to draw characters? Yes and no. Like
that's a fun one.
It's kind of like yes and no. Go, is this above me or below me? Like this character that Christina's drawing, are we above it or below it?
No, we're above it.
Yeah,
quite a ways above it. Because we can actually see their
it.
shoulders. We see the top of the box.
So you're thinking about perspective and horizon line right now when drawing that character. You're going, I'm above this. But she's not going... dragging the line back, going, this is the vanishing point.
Bro, if I had to do that, I would not live.
She's kind of going like, She's looking at the character kind of like this. Let me look at it. From like an angle that's kind of like this, right? We're above the box. Here's the top of it. Here's the front of it. And here's a little bit of the side. The box is not front facing. The box is not, you know, facing like this. The box is down here. So it's like if you draw your like Krenz cubes or whatever. Here's a box that's facing that way. And then you come down a little bit. Here's the box that's facing here. Here's the box that's facing here. Here's the box that's facing, you know, this one. Here's the one that's in the middle. Here. So here's your vanishing point. Here's your horizon line. Right? Vanishing point, vanishing point, vanishing point. All of this sort of thing. So it's like she knows where it is if she wanted to find it, but she's not like actively drawing using that vanishing point. So this box is kind of like this one right here. And so if you go look at her character, you can see like you're looking down at it, but it's slightly turned.
Yeah. If I were to simplify this into like just a regular box, it would look like this.
Yeah, it's like some of the top, some of the side, a lot of the front.
Yeah.
So she knows it's below the horizon line. She knows it's, you know, pointed a little bit to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And since she's drawn so many Krenz cubes and she's practiced so much intuitive perspective, then she kind of like has it in the back of her mind when she's drawing it.
Yeah. How would you keep proportions for really weird / bent poses like someone sitting or kneeling? So most of the time you're not looking at someone sitting down in a super crazy perspective, you know, like this. But instead you're probably looking at someone who's like a little bit more of like a longer lens that feels a bit more natural. So what I would do is I would draw the torso first. Let's say you have a bent pose sitting like this. Your knees, or sorry, not your legs are going to come out from your pelvis. So this is all you have to focus on right now. Just make sure that this part is correct. So like, okay, yeah, I know that this and this is all like, you know, into 3 parts. I know this, I know that. Like, I know how big the rib cage and the pelvis are to each other. Now for the legs will overlap. So this is the part where it gets a little bit more difficult, right? Because now you're like, how long or how short do I make it? So if you have like legs that are directly in front of you, your knees are gonna look like this. There's not really gonna be much perspective, right? It's just gonna be your front leg, your lower legs, and they're gonna look like this. Kind of very awkward pose.
In what situation?
If your legs were facing you.
Oh.
And you're sitting. Right, it would kind of look like this. It's kind of weird. You won't really see much of the top. Maybe a little bit of the top of the leg, but you'll see the kneecaps, and you'll see the front of your lower legs, and then your feet. Right, but this feels really awkward. So I generally, for me, to see the proportions a little bit easier, I will kind of shift it a little bit. So this part is where you can use a bit of like relational proportion of, what's it called? It's not relational. It's like, dang it. I don't exactly remember the word, but basically you take like a unit that you know and you measure it in proportion to like the other parts of your body. So like, let's say like for the torso right up here, I can say, okay, I want my upper leg. So I'm just gonna take this upper leg and see like how big that is in comparison to the torso. Like from the top of the leg to the kneecap, if I move it up, it's about, you know, it's about the size of this torso of this right here. So I just take this measurement and I like roughly plant it in here and say, okay, that feels like my upper leg. That feels comfortable. So I place my upper legs right here. And my lower legs is just a tad bit shorter, including is just a tad bit shorter than my upper leg. So I'm like, okay, we'll take this. Measure
Tickle
it in.
Monster. YS edits, hello. We haven't really stopped and talked to chat in a while.
Yeah, we haven't.
So maybe after you're done with this, we can slow down a little bit and say hi to people.
Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, leg. This is about maybe the same height as this one with feet attached. And then I'll see like, okay, are my legs a bit too big? If so, I can just make it smaller. And just check. So like that feels maybe a little bit more appropriate. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you just got to draw it a lot. You just got to draw it a lot.
Love Anatomy Mondays.
Thank you.
Awesome, Risa. And did you say you ordered a new desk? That's fun.
Desk. That's fun.
Bruh, a desk and a chair is so important. Could you teach us the process for drawing feet and hands? Christina just put up a video on hands on the YouTube channel. You can go check it out if you want. There's probably gonna be a foot one later on.
Yeah, when I find a nice tip for drawing feet.
Going through art block.
Rip. It's temporary. Art block is temporary. And I think when you're in the mentality of like, oh, art block is just beating me, I'm letting art block control my drawing. You know, that's when that's when it's a lie. It's temporary. Like you'll be like, yeah, right now I don't feel like drawing, but I know it'll go away.
Time of day. What time and day do you guys go live? Right now on Mondays. Usually like 4 or 5 times a week. So it depends. Definitely Mondays. Definitely Fridays. Usually Wednesdays. Usually Saturdays, but pretty much right now, various days of the week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, pretty much every time. We're not going live tomorrow, I don't think.
No.
We got stuff going on.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday to your boyfriend.
Ooh.
Any tips on how to connect the head with the neck and back? That's fun.
That's fun. Sure. We can cover that.
Good. Bum.
Let's just take a look at this guy here.
I struggle to plant the foot on the floor in perspective drawings. We can talk about that a little bit.
That's a good question. So if you look at the side view of like a figure, you'll notice that your neck is not like this is your head. Your neck is not actually planted like straight down like this. It's actually at a slant, and it's not like this. I mean, yes, you could for a really buff person, but like you'll notice that there's a bit of a gap from the chin and the jaw, and it kind of sits in here. So here's the back of the head.
This is delicious.
That's good. Back of the head, then comes the neck, and it's at an angle. Right? You kind of see that in like different perspectives as well with this figure here. Like you can see that this angles out or angles outward this way, even in a back view. Now, this is the part where it gets tricky for like a front and a back. From the front and the back, it will kind of just look like a cylinder, like just sticking into the head like this. And, you know, that's completely fine to do. It's just when it starts turning, that's when things get confusing. So from a front view, the neck comes from the jaw. Like if you look at your own head, now if you're a girl and you have a more slender neck, it's going to kind of bow in like this. But if you have like a stiffer neck, like it's probably going to look more like a tree trunk. But it comes down from the ear and the jaw, and it slides downwards like this. Now, the neck is also kind of slightly facing downward because it's angled. Like basically, this is what the cylinder looks like. Here's the top of the cylinder, here's the bottom of the cylinder. You're going to see this curve right in here. It's not going to be like this, because that's not the right perspective. This is the right perspective. So even in like from a front view, you're going to see this in a nutshell. Like it's gonna be very subtle, but there's gonna be signs. And then here's your clavicle. Your clavicle comes basically right where the pit of the neck is. Right, so that's how you connect it. From the back, the top of your neck is actually going to overlap your in front of your head. Because it's a little bit higher. Your neck, I keep bumping this. Your neck is actually at a diagonal, so it looks like this. So this is lower than the back. That's why this feels a little bit higher. You'll see this happen. So like, that's why it's so confusing, because it's like, it doesn't feel like perspective, but there is perspective, especially when you turn it to the side and slightly towards, and, you know, slightly turn it, you know, in whatever way that you want. Yeah, it's slanted. If we had a neck that was straight down like this, it would look very unnatural. When you go like this. Right? It's just not in the natural posture. So like, your head leans forward a bit. I remember being super shocked when I learned this the first time. I was like, what? Your neck slanted? That's crazy. No wonder why my drawings look so off all the time. It's more like this. So now, an exercise that you can do is you can just draw heads. Like, okay, here's a head. Here's a head that's turning slightly towards the left. Here's a head that's maybe now towards the back. Now we see the ear. And you like fit the neck. So like if I were to fit the neck and pull it straight down like this, and like this, and like this. Yeah, doesn't look very good. Doesn't look very natural.
That's why we had the necks on these go back.
Mm-hmm. Even in anime, the rules are the same. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Bananas.
Bananas.
Absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
And
but
even
now
this guy, like you can see.
Yeah, there's a slight angle.
There's an angle to it.
Mm-hmm. And now with that concept, even from a 3/4 view, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just kind of slant it a little bit. Not this way. Unless you want to go like this. It's the other way. And now we're gonna slant this. Like this may be a little bit more exaggerated, but it still feels more natural. So like, you know, it's not bad to over exaggerate. And then you can just add in like your traps in the back. So like that could be an interesting exercise. It can be even simpler, where you're just drawing a sphere and you are just plopping a little cylinder at an angle like this. Form drawing could look like a little hair dryer, actually.
Would you recommend making art from something you like a manga, etc.? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you like something and you want to study it, that's great. Studying it to understand it. I feel like Gene does a really good job at that.
He does.
He does it with like Akira and Ghost in the Shell and all these things. He'll just like break down the shots to understand what camera lenses they use, what perspective. Like Akira's really interesting. They use a lot of like really long lenses from like above. Like the tanks on the road and stuff. So
it's
cool.
It's very long lens. Like it's like isometric almost.
Yeah. What is this?
Huh? Oh yes. What about planting the foot on the floor in perspective?
You need to be able to draw a floor in perspective. And that's
hard.
Pretty important. I have a feeling that it's probably not the planting the foot on the floor part, but the actually drawing the floor and the character in the same perspective. That's the hard part. because that's pretty much always the issue, is like the floor is not in the same perspective as the character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what about it?
Just like how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to draw some?
Yeah, sure.
I can if you want, but
I feel like you're pretty good at it. I think the simple concept could be like just drawing a plane in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is this plane going? Kind of like think about imaginary grid. You know, is your floor more like this? Is it more like this? And that will determine where you plant your feet. Because your feet will generally match the perspective of the floor because it is touching it. Your feet don't have to go like exactly, you know, on the grid like this, like straight. It can kind of go off of it, but like it has to generally be planted on the floor. So like you can have like a little flat view of the foot and where you want to place it, like this, like little footprints, and then you can extend it.
And I like drawing a line up for the height of the character a lot of the time. Like the plumb line.
Yeah.
That plumb line in perspective is a really big deal.
Like this.
Yeah. You can just go, there's my character, and there's the base that they're standing on.
And you draw a figure in it.
Yeah.
It's a very tiny drawing.
Yeah, and then you know that if the character's head is below the horizon line, you're going to be looking down at the whole body. If the character intersects the horizon line, the point where the character crosses the horizon line is the point where you start looking up at the character instead of down at it. It's like the basics of perspective.
What date and time do you usually go live? We go live like maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. Generally around like Mondays and Fridays, and then all the days in between, like depending on our schedule.
Yeah.
And we'll usually go live in the evening, so about 5 or 4 p.m. Pacific.
So like, you know, here's the ground plane. Here's the point at which you are looking up, right? If you're drawing a box, the character will be inside of this box, but people find boxes scary. So a lot of the time, you know, you can just draw it like this. And this is your horizon line, and anything above the horizon line, you're looking up at. You're not looking very up at it, but like, you know, you'll see the bottom of it. And anything below the horizon line,
Okay.
you're going to see the top of it, including, you know, those feet on the ground. You know, and you can go and build out a little bit of a figure if you want.
Like, notice that because he angled the pelvis a little bit, it's not exactly matching.
Yeah, this is
But,
leaning,
like, that's okay.
This is a leaning forward box.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like,
It's not going to be like completely attached to the grid that you have currently.
yeah, it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be, you know, a little bit more like this. I'm exaggerating a little bit.
That's why perspective with people is confusing, because it's like, wait, but does it have to go with the grid or does it not have to?
You know, exaggerate it a bit. And then this, depending, right? Like you could have your leg come way forward, or you could have your leg go,
Back
you
a
know,
bit.
way back. And although this whole character is in this perspective, what if it's like, what if you have these opposing angles here? So you have to be pretty comfortable with perspective because you're shifting things slightly within. It's almost like, you know, you go like this and you go, well, this one's facing slightly this way. And this one's facing slightly that way. And this one's facing slightly forward. And this one's facing slightly backward. But they all exist along this three-dimensional line, right? It's like that's kind of how characters are. And then you can go, well, this tube is facing like that, and this tube is facing like that. So it's like within the greater context of the scene, they're all in perspective, but they're like tilted a little bit within perspective. So that's one of the reasons it's so difficult, right? And that plumb line is going to be their center of balance. So that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could have something simple like this. This one is like slightly back, right? Actually, let's just do this.
Oh, very nice.
And so this one here, like, where is the arm? Like, this arm is obviously not in this perspective. Like, it is, but it's like rotated along this axis, right? So it's like, here's the cylinder, and it rotates along this axis. That's the axis that I rotated it on. And this cylinder is in this perspective. So it's like a propeller, right? So it's like, I mean, think about it, right? It goes like this, right? Now it can come out as well. So it's like, and you have a lot of flexibility. This isn't restrictive. This is actually more flexible, because who's to say the arm isn't, I don't know. Who's to say the arm isn't here? Who's to say the arm isn't here? Who's to say the arm isn't here? You know, there's the arm.
Oh my gosh.
There's the arm. So it's like, you have a lot of flexibility, because there's like no right, no wrong. It could be anywhere. Like, you can do it wherever you want. This arm could be here. This arm could be here. Doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm. It's called a plumb line, like a
Yeah.
PLUMB, like plumbing.
That's where you poop.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we have 3 cats. One is named Applejack, not from My Little Pony, but from the cereal.
Yeah.
We have another kitten named Toby.
He ain't
He's
really
still
a kitten
well,
anymore.
he's almost not a kitten.
He's about to have adult cat laws enforced upon him. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and then the third is Poppy. She's the oldest.
And the most unstable. But anyways, there we go. Right? You can do something like that. But like, if you can't draw ground planes and visualize, you know, this type of box, it's very hard to put a person inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing over my other stuff. But there you go. And this one would be like back there. This one would be over there. This is just basic 2-point perspective.
Yep. Oh, look at mine. So silly. What about posing the arms and how the shoulders and back interact? That will go into like scapula stuff. Now I need to draw more of that stuff. Like, for instance, so scapula is interesting. Like, when you move your arms back and forth like this, your scapula is a floating bone. It is not attached to another bone. It is there to like maneuver the arm kind of back and forth. So like, your scapula can actually move around in different places. So you can have a scapula over here. This is your back. You can have the scapula extend forward. So like, that makes it even more interesting. So let's just draw some people. Arms. So I wish I had like, this is the part where I do wish I could animate. So your arm doesn't just move up and down like this, but it also comes forward and also narrows in, right? Like this like squeezes, right? It can also go back here. And kind of as Colton was talking about, you have just a lot of movement
Mm-hmm.
Like this. It makes you look like you have like 8 arms. Right, but all this stuff is from the scapula. So like here, I'll just draw in red or blue. Scapula is here for this position. Scapula is over here in this position. And the scapula is here in this position. So it's so complicated. Right? But like that's the stuff that I think about. So like if I were to draw an arm on this body, I would think, okay, here's my shoulder. I can determine if my shoulder is going back here because like maybe it's turning away from me a little bit. Thank you for doing that. And so this is where my shoulder is. And now I can attach my arm or my upper arm here. And this is where my scapula is going to connect to that shoulder. And now it'll feel natural. And then let's say you have the arm going back. I would say in order to get this more fluently, you're going to have to like draw a lot of bodies with arms in different poses to understand on how they overlap. But like you will rarely see the arm fully detach from the rib cage like this. You will not see this. That's breaking. That's kind of breaking the body. You're like physically dislocating the shoulder. Huh?
Pull it. Nope, it didn't work. It didn't come off.
Like what's that Star Wars character that like pops their arm off that thing was always saying that you would have frustration designing?
General Grievous.
Yeah.
One of my teachers designed the General Grievous from the Star Wars. General Grievous, is that it? Yeah, he like designed all the mechanisms and stuff of it. He was talking about how it took a really long time. You guys are matching today? Yeah.
I guess so. I love it when we match. Can you please explain how that very difficult angle of the head? I don't know if we're doing heads today. Well, I'll think about it.
You mean the free run angle?
Yeah, the free run angle.
You know that angle that a lot of artists tried that are
if you want to do it,
you're like looking up.
Actually, someone's asking about these head models earlier. Here you go.
No, you can't get the 3D files online. We made them ourselves. These are models that we sculpted. We have a bunch of them. Where's the adult female one?
I don't know what the adult female
Did the cat
one
knock
is.
it on the ground?
It's possible.
I don't see it.
Maybe it's in a drawer.
Maybe. Here's one.
Yeah. Here is a adult female.
And here's the adult male one.
It's actually drawn pretty good too. Adult male and adult female. We got five types. Kinds. So we got adult female, adult male, and then we also got teen, guy and girl, and a chibi. Now the set is complete.
Yep. And then we also have this one, which is just like a teaching one that we use on stream. But no, we sculpted these ourselves and 3D printed them, but we do not have the 3D files up.
Yeah. How do you know if your back is stable to the legs or if your body is stable in general?
Where is that? There.
There.
How do you know if your back is stable to the legs? Like stable as in they don't feel like they're falling over? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think it has to do with like visual weight. So like for instance, here is a body.
Yeah, plumb line.
Yeah, plumb line.
Like drag that line down from the 7th cervical vertebrae and try to and connect it to the ground. And see if the character feels like they're falling over. You know, it's like, where is the center of gravity? Where does that weight feel like it is? Like that character is like tipping over for sure.
Tipping over. It's almost like visual weight as well. Like if you're very top heavy, if this is top heavy and you continue that route, you know, it's going to look unstable. I'm doing this for like a very, this is very exaggerated. Oh, by the way, we have not mentioned this yet, but our anime art school is currently 20% off with the code WINTER. So we teach fundamentals on stream. We teach it for free.
Yup.
But we also have a program online that goes through a much more organized fashion of just the overall fundamentals of art. So like if you've always wanted to draw your own characters or your own stories, but you don't even know like where to start, we created a program just for that. We cover things like anatomy and head drawing and perspective.
Art Share 2. What's all this about, Lau?
So like here is just some examples. This is the anatomy since we're on Anatomy Monday. Oh, that is heckin' cute.
That is very
Holy
cute.
crap.
I like that.
I almost want to show that, but
That's very nice.
that
We'll
is-
show it in a show it in a bit.
Yeah, we'll show it in a bit.
That's fun.
So all the stuff that we're teaching on like Anatomy Mondays, this is the stuff that I go through in Anime Art School in a much more like classroom type fashion, lecture style fashion. People who want to draw arms in different perspectives with the muscles attached. Here you go. This almost looks like very scientific drawing, but like,
Yeah.
trust me, it's for artists. I teach you how to paint. Colton teaches the perspective class, so he takes you from the very basics of perspective and teaches you how to build scenes like this. It's like, I would say it's probably the ultimate fundamentals course. Here's clothing, where you draw and render clothing, and character design and all that stuff. Here's some painting stuff that Colton does and teaches and has you go through.
Still lifes are one of the best ways to learn color
Yeah.
and values. Like, what values should things be? How to, like, oh my gosh, still lifes are one of the best assignments ever.
They
like,
are. They're
ever
goated.
created in the history of art doing still lifes. You learn so much stuff from them. Design, simplification, controlling your values, colors. You learn how light and color interacts in a believable way.
I
It's
just wanna see
crazy.
these again. This is the process that he takes you through.
Yeah. We go from notan, 2 values, into 4 values, into color and considering color temperature and everything. This is a demo that I do in my painting class.
So it's currently 20% off with the code WINTER. So if you are looking for that, you can just take a screenshot for later. But yeah,
Funny gizmo. I bought this school and Minky gave me a high five.
that's cute. How do you draw baggy clothes on more dynamic poses? I mean, if we get to it later in the stream and we're not doing as much anatomy, we'll probably get to that. You can save your question if we feel like answering it. Right now, it's
Yeah.
just mainly anatomy and people drawing right now.
Yeah, that would be like a costume
Actually,
drawing question. What?
Colton has a video on how to draw clothes on people.
Yeah, recently I uploaded a video on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
It's a clipped version of a previous stream.
Yeah.
Here it is. So this video right here, but it's not dynamic posing, but this is the stuff that goes into this. This is like the underlying fundamentals of that. So we take clothing and we learn how to simplify it. We learn how to focus on the folds that actually matter. Because that's huge. When you draw clothes on dynamic poses, you definitely want to focus on the most important folds and eliminate folds that are not really relevant. So we break down, clothing, talk about the folds, which ones show up and why, which ones to ignore, which ones to show. Hint, you ignore ones that don't contribute to the overall flow and design, which is like super important when it comes to like dynamic poses. Because dynamic is everything working dynamically towards a greater purpose. And so if you want to draw clothes on a pose like that, the clothes also have to work towards that greater purpose.
Yes.
So this video talks a lot about it, and it's, half an hour long. It's almost always a design thing.
What does the website look like? If you're on YouTube, I think it's in the description box.
What does the website look like? Yeah, I can.
But Colton will type it in the chat. How long does it take to get to your level of drawing? Thank you, I appreciate that. We spent years. Drawing is a marathon. Even if you did get to a point, like if you practice really hard and got decent at drawing within a year, there's still so much to learn. So I would say expect a lot of years. Expect a lot of years.
Yeah.
You're continuously learning every year.
I would be very careful approaching something from the question of like how long does it take to get somewhere, because a lot of the time it kind of implies like a results oriented mindset, which can lead to burning out pretty bad a lot of the time. You know, I'm not saying don't do it. It's just drawing is one of those things that takes so long to get good at. If you use improvement for motivation, it usually doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It's generally a much more sustainable strategy to focus on the enjoyment of doing the thing rather than the goal.
Yeah.
But it's good to like have goals. It's just not very sustainable to use goals that take a really, really, really long time. I'm talking 10 plus years as the daily motivation.
Yeah.
Do you have tips for getting better at observational drawing? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Observational drawing is super important because you learn from the world, right? How do you learn what things look like? If you want to be able to draw from imagination, learning to draw from observation is definitely one of those parts that you want to get better at. I learned this late. Like, I really learned this later than I wish I learned it. You know, doing still lifes and studies and all that. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff like focusing on positive and negative space. I don't know how much we'll talk about it today, Pancakes, because we're mostly focusing on anatomy. Mm-hmm. But we can talk about that if you want to bring it up another day where we're doing lessons and stuff. Like positive, negative spaces, triangulation. There's a lot of different methods. You know, people in ateliers use the sight size method, but it's so not advisable to use that. It requires a huge room. It requires very ideal conditions. You have to be able to step back 12 feet from your drawing and make it the same size as what you're drawing. It's really difficult. But there's a lot of that sort of thing. We can talk about it someday.
Mm-hmm. How long is the winter code going to be up for?
A couple weeks.
Oh, thank you, creative.
I don't know the exact day. It's a couple more weeks though.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys draw animal anatomy too?
Not really.
Nah, not really. It would be cool to study though. We say that.
It's definitely on the list of things to eventually learn.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was kind of thinking about ways to connect the limbs, like legs, to the hips, and I think I might have found a way. So like, you can think about the torso and the leg having like hard and soft parts or connective parts. So like, for instance, your rib cage is like a hard part. Your pelvis is a hard part. This part right here in the middle is squishy, so it's bendy. And then you got like your legs. So what I do to draw legs is I will start from kind of like if I just want to draw a standing pose like this, I will generally start here because this part is like my squishy bit. So this part is where my start of my leg comes out, and I'll draw them as like cylinders. This part in the middle is like kind of where your joint and all your other muscles are, like your glutes, and kind of where they connect and attach to the pelvis. Maybe I might need to move this up a little bit higher.
I feel like the way that these break it down is really good.
Yes, that's kind of, yeah, maybe it is based off of that.
Because it very accurately gets the 3-finger gap in there. Like, you can do this. It's just a good way to break it down, although you probably can't do that.
No, probably not, unless you're like really flexible. Ooh.
There's like a very specific angle that looks broken, and then everything else kind of works.
Yeah. So like, if I were to just draw in red, this is solid. This is solid. Oh,
yeah, you can get the brush on our linky on our profile.
That's right.
Or right here, take a screenshot of that, put it in your browser. Mm-hmm. Any opinions on drawing from real life subjects versus photos? Real life is always better, way better.
Yeah,
there's literally no competition between them. It's like eating real food versus like virtual food.
Oh my gosh, virtual food.
Like,
yeah,
it's not like you won't learn anything from photos. It's just 100 times better from real life. Your eyes are much better cameras than crappy iPhone or whatever. Photos are exposed, and they have a set exposure. When you draw from real life, you decide the exposure, and you make very conscious decisions that photos make for you, and usually they make them badly. Holographic meatloaf, my favorite.
Oh, that's so funny. Is there gonna be a college or university on manga in Canada or US? What do you mean by that?
I have no idea.
I don't know. If you're talking about our anime art school, like you can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're meaning like a physical place, of ours, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. That would be sick.
That would be really cool if we did if we had a physical location. It'd be a lot of work, but that'd be kind of cool.
For double jointed people, how would you convey that in poses without looking broken or off? It's very difficult.
I've never drawn double jointed people, so I don't know.
You definitely have to have the structure correct. And it would still... if you can see it in real life and it looks strange, it's generally going to look stranger in a drawing.
Yeah.
But I would imagine you would definitely have to focus on, like, the overall design and shape language of it. That'd be an interesting challenge.
Double jointed, like, what do you mean by double joint? I don't even know what double jointed even looks like. Do you mean like for fingers, or for like? I don't know.
People do contortionist poses and stuff sometimes for fun when they do figure drawing.
Oh, yeah. I would find, like, if I were to do like a contortionist pose, like I would find the easiest part to do first. So like, let's say that could be like, oh, maybe the arm.
Reference?
I don't have a reference, but
You probably want
I
a
should
reference.
probably have. Yes. Can you look up a contortionist pose?
Yeah.
Very flexible pose, maybe.
Pose. But do you mean like hands? Typically wrists, arms mainly. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do a demo on something that they're not asking about.
Yeah.
Like double jointed hands.
Yeah, let's do that.
Like that.
Oh my gosh, bro. I mean,
that is wild. That's fun.
that is
Double
fun.
Jointed. Okay. Quick test.
Well, now I'm kind of curious.
Like let's be honest. This right here,
That just
it may be reality, but it doesn't look like physically it doesn't look right. So if you were to draw it like this, I would probably focus on the design of making it like kind of pulling some of these curves in a way that are like consistent shape language wise. So like you could definitely draw this.
yeah.
But it would be like a greater shape language type thing, right?
Yeah.
I was just looking at some of Ognyan's,
Snaz jump scare.
some of his hand drawings. Let me find some of them really quick. Is this some of his? Doesn't feel like it. The heck? Where's some of his hands, bro? Here's some. And it's tiny res. Everything's tiny res. Let's just like bring this in for example. You can see that like this guy, when he draws these things, again, it's microscopic resolution, unfortunately.
Can I use your drawings of the Academy OCs in an edit? Yes, you can.
Maybe
Tickle.
like this one.
Tickle Monster, yes.
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
for sure.
I would love to see it. Ooh,
Like
that was
you
that
can
was fun.
see that this guy, he's drawing these things, but he's thinking very carefully about the shape language. Like, why isn't... Oh, my mom's calling. I'll call her back in a little bit. So, we're hanging out with her tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even the negative space within here, like this...
I'll message her and say we'll call you back.
This space, this red space right here, is very carefully designed. This space right here, there's like, it's this area right here being bigger than this area right here is not accidental. This curve right here being a C curve and this one being an S curve is not accidental.
Design.
It is design. This guy's a very good designer. He's a very good intentional designer. Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of looks like a lopsided spade or something, right? This being a long straight and having a little curve at the end and going into a bump immediately is not accidental. So if he were to probably draw this hand, all of these little curves and stuff in here would be very like carefully observed and designed out, and it would look good. Like it would look, it would look double jointed, but it would look good.
That's a fun challenge, though.
It would be a very fun challenge.
Hold up, because I'm kind of curious.
But like design is design, irrelevant of the subject matter. So whether it's a hand that's double jointed or not. Let me take all these away. And you want this?
Yeah, I'm already failing.
Like I feel like I'm looking at Snaz's hand. Like, what?
I feel like, yeah, literally. So it's like, it's so weird because it's like, here's the thumb pad for a double jointed person. But like, it's like this stays put until the thumb goes like this. It like snaps.
It's like a lever that's been turned on.
Yeah, it's like a,
or like been turned off.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Anatomy, flip off.
Yep, flip off. And so that's why it looks so unnatural. Like this don't look like a thumb. And then, everything else is like normal. So I feel like the reason why double jointed poses can be very difficult is because everything looks normal until this point. Like this is the only thing that doesn't look normal. And so like you stare at it and you're like, oh, what's happening here? So like most people, when people look at like hands and stuff, the norm is like not double jointed. So when they see double jointed stuff, it like breaks their reality, because with art, like you have to be very careful with maintaining the illusion of normalcy, I guess. Like you got to look at the average. Right? So like, yes, you can have a character that's double jointed, but maybe like you can design it in a way, like that's why creature design is very interesting, right? You can like really fudge it. You can like say like, okay, this joint goes back here and there's like another joint in here, and the hands aren't supposed to work right. So like you can have fingers going like this and like that, and it'll feel like the reality is convincing enough. Basically saying if you want double jointed, you might it might work better with creatures. Are we calling Snaz a creature at this point?
Snaz? Yes.
Yes. Snaz, yes. Right? Like this feels like, yeah, that's believable. Because it's not supposed to be like you've suspended your reality. And now this feels good. You can add like an extra elbow joint. Like maybe there's 2 elbow joints in here. You're like, oh yeah, maybe there's 2 wrists, 2 ulnas and radiuses, and so these will like rotate around each way. I don't know. Here's like your humerus bone.
What do you mean, Sai? But how do you come up with these specific ideas? Was that something earlier?
Looks like a tree hand. Oh, wait a second. Tree monster? Now this is where you can have like a lot of fun with like anatomy. It's like you can turn them into creatures. So
get
like
this off my screen there.
So like let's say you have a tree monster and maybe like you want to show the anatomy, but like you also want to contort it into like bark. You can say, okay, I want this body to be very skinny. So like I'll show the rib cage and but everything inside is going to look like bark. Cuz like some trees are weird looking.
Yeah.
Some trees are very weird looking.
And you can have like a little divot where like maybe the belly button would be.
Yeah. Like maybe even like a hole or something.
Yeah. And it's all dimensional, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all dimensional. It's all, you're like referencing and referring to reality, and you're bending and distorting the shapes.
Yeah. Trees like to twist and turn too, so like you can also incorporate that.
Oh, with the drawings that I was showing of Ognians, the different space size between the thumbs, like how do they come up with the specific size differences and design? That would have to do with like dynamic versus static.
Mm-hmm.
So, unevenness, curves, like accelerated versus straights versus short C curves and S curves. It's a design. It's shape language. It's like you would decide contextually based on the shape language. It's kind of similar to what like caricature artists are doing. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's a design thing. If you want to learn about that, we do talk about that sort of thing in our anime art school. Like we have classes on it, but there's a lot of studying involved, and there's a lot of like practicing to kind of get a feel. It's not my strong point personally.
Yeah. What's the best way to learn perspective?
I don't know about best.
I don't know about best.
There's definitely effective ways to learn it.
I think anything that you draw will include some form of perspective. Like, you know, it's...
Yeah.
I find that, like, when you're drawing a person, that's also perspective. Like, perspective isn't everything, similarly to gesture. It's not like people think when they draw gesture, they're like, that's a step.
That's what?
It's like a step in the process. But later you learn that gestures and everything, similarly to perspective. Perspective isn't just like vanishing point. I mean, like, yes, the large component of it is this. But then there's also areas where perspective can also just be like, oh, where am I looking at? Where am I looking at with this cylinder?
Yeah. Perspective is just any three-dimensional object on a two-dimensional plane. Like that's it. You're using perspective if you are representing 3D objects. And I'm not just talking like spheres, boxes, cylinders. I'm talking like hair, eyes, faces, mouths, ears. Anything that has three-dimensional depth to it is going to include perspective. So pretty much everybody draws in perspective. Like you have to in order to represent 3D things on 2D surfaces. It's just like, it's almost like you're already doing it. You're just kind of like pretending you're not doing it because it's like difficult to think about or difficult to imagine. You know what I mean? And that's when people are just like, oh, I just wing it. And it's just like, it's like pretending to not do it, but you're still doing it.
Yeah.
But a good way to learn is, you know, learn the basics of 1, 2, 3 point perspective. Do a bunch of exercises, 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. Can you describe to me what the classes are like and how long will it take from classes 1 to 7? Yeah. So in the school, in our anime art school, there's 7 classes and 3 terms. It is structured like a mini college. So think it's going to take at least a year to get through, all right? It's going to take at least a year to get through because they are 14-week long terms. You have 14 weeks of classes that you go through. There's lessons every single week, and then there's homework at the end of the week, and it's a lot of homework because we want you to get better. And you only get better by drawing. So I'd recommend, you know, you go through the lessons, you draw along, you get to the homework lesson, you do all of the homework. A lot of people post the homework in the Discord server in the student channels. You don't get feedback on them, but you can post them and chat with other students and stuff. And then you move on to the next week. And it's built basically like a self-paced college. So you can go away, you can come back to it later. You don't have to show up to classes at a certain time.
Yep.
But we very much structured it like a cohesive school. Can it be on paper? I wouldn't recommend paper. You wouldn't be able to do certain classes without digital. It is a digital school, so the painting classes are all done digitally.
It's actually kind of fun drawing this kind of figure and adding clothes on top. Blocky figures. Nah, it's not Miku, it's just a rando. Everything has a perspective, even though it's flat. I would say like if it becomes like flat, like towards the horizon line things become flat, or when in the background things become flattened.
I don't really understand the question.
Oh.
Everything has a perspective even though it's flat. Is that right?
Yeah, maybe I should have asked for clarification.
I don't really know what they mean. If you know what they mean, you can answer.
I will assume that I'll just make an assumption, and if it's not it, then it's whatever. We can further dive down the question. There will be times in like landscapes or even like people where things will flatten out. And in that case, you can still show perspective by showing like what's in front of the flat area. So like this in front of this, in front of this, and then it gets flattened. Like this is a situation where even though you see a flat shape, there's still some element of perspective because of the overlaps. Because you see like all this in front. You can see something in front here, and that's in perspective. And then as it goes towards the back, you know, that's when
it's like a nice mild flavor.
Nice.
Did you get yours?
Yes.
You want to sip together?
Yes.
Lips or mouths?
Lips or mouths, huh? Let me think.
Thanks, Dahlia.
So lips. You'll see very subtle curves. So, okay, this is not mouths, right? I think we have a general idea that this is, you know, a graphic idea of a mouth, but it's not really what we want yet. We're gonna have to start like modifying this. So with mouths, there's going to be corners of the mouth, but then there's also going to be the lip line, which will actually curve depending on the perspective. So you generally see like a little M like this. And this is actually caused from the upper lip because the upper lip is shaped like this for the most part. There's like a general shape. There is a part in the middle that comes out. So it look like a little bird. So this dip right here causes this dip. Right, so now we can kind of see like some volume. Like if we add some wrapping lines, it'll look like this and it'll feel really, really nice and plump. The bottom lip is simple. But yes, you definitely can see like some kind of divot in here. This is like, I'm exaggerating this, but like then you could say, okay, I want my mouth to be thinner. So maybe I'll just thin the bottom. This is great for like male lips, for example. If I were to draw masculine lips, I would do this because it's not like, it's simplified. If I want to add a top lip, I can. But like all I'm doing is I'm just taking this shape and squishing it, making it a bit narrower. So it's kind of like editing a me on your Switch. You know that when you change your mouth, like there's like different options to, you know, expand the lips like this. Or
you can stretch it, you can pull it, you can push it, you can change the shape, you can change the width.
Yep, you can make it thinner.
But it's all like, that is the underlying structure that gets distorted.
So it's like you think of this as a base, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to take that and morph it.
Okay, so that, sorry, I meant front perspective, like a 2D alike perspective, but yeah, pretty much answer my question. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, if you want depth going back in like 2D, not 2D, but like front view, you're going to be using overlaps. So it'll probably look something like this.
Oh.
Right, here's your plane, and then you're gonna have things that are like overlapping, right? You could have like a rectangle back here. You could have another rectangle in the rear. You want to make sure that you think about where this stuff actually hits the ground, right? You could have, I don't know, a building or something. That's not the center. It's probably about right there. Right? I'll just leave it. You could have something. You could have something right here. you're going to get this like stair stepping effect like this.
That's so cool.
And this is zigzag. I actually did a demo not too long ago. But you get these really specific shapes. Like your brain is very good at identifying shapes, even when they're super abstract. I don't know exactly. Let me think. So
we might have a bot in the chat.
If you have like a scene, for example, right? And let's just do this. You can imply perspective with very specific shapes. So, for example, I have a horizon line, and let's just say I've got like a rock or something, right?
A rock.
Like, I don't know. Something like this. And it intersects the horizon line, all right? And back here, maybe we've got like a rock. And back here, we've got like an island or something, or like some sort of a hill or mountain. You're going to get these really specific shapes. Like if there's a light source coming down, a lot of the time you'll get this shape that kind of comes off like this. Let me switch to my round brush. All reliable, you know.
All reliable round brush.
That's not all reliable. This is all reliable. So, you know, you may have like the top of this hill.
We might need to update the chat or scroll down just in case. There we go. This is a Photoshop, by the way.
All right. So if I have a rock and it's being hit by light, I'm going to have a lit side and I'm going to have a shadowed side, but then I'm also going to have a shadow coming off of it like this. And so your brain, like when you're walking around like on the beach or in an environment, your brain is really good at like recognizing this, like this kind of shape. It just notices very quickly that it's like, this is an object with light hitting it and it's on the ground. If like your object is off the ground and it's like floating, your brain is like really good at going, this is an object and it's like floating off the ground. Like your brain is just, it recognizes these shapes really, really fast. It's like, oh, it's like a floating thing because here's the shadow and here's the shadow of this and here's the lit part of this. And so what painters do is they study a lot and they learn to kind of get a feeling for these like naturally occurring shapes. And they paint using them, even though they may not even really like think that much about what they're painting. They might just be like, oh, I've got like another thing in the background here. And then there's objects intersecting this. And maybe we have something in the background and they'll line things up. So like they'll line up this shadow with this object.
What brush is this? This is actually just the basic round brush.
Yeah, I'm using just a basic round right now. Mm-hmm. And so they may have like, in their minds, they may have like a little perspective grid here. But in reality, like they're just like, oh, I can just like kind of conveniently align these things up. Like maybe we have like a little bump here and it's like casting a shadow. But the shadow is going down a hill. It's like when you draw a tree on a hill, you can just go... like this. So like a tree is pretty dark overall. And if you want this tree to feel like it's on a hill, you just draw this line going downhill instead.
Whoa.
And if you have like another tree, you know, you could go like this. Then that one could go down the hill. And like your brain is really good at understanding what's going on through like really simple shapes. You know, you could have like a third tree because we probably want to do this in a group of 3. And we'll have like a little one over here, like a baby one.
Do you guys have any tips on how to render hair? We actually have a hair coloring video. There's 3 parts to it because hair rendering has a lot of stuff going on. It's on our YouTube channel. So there's a 3-part series on coloring hair, starting from the basics of rendering in black and white, and then we go into color later.
And your brain just recognizes these shapes very quickly. So what does this all have to do with the question that you asked? Well, your brain recognizes this zigzagging shape right here.
It's all to get that.
It's a shape like this. That's one of the shapes that your brain recognizes. And when you see that zigzagging, it goes, that's 3D. That goes away from me physically. You could even practically make this just like a silhouette and turn it into something like this, right? Maybe you can have a little bit of light on some of these. So it's like, you know, just some light.
That's sick.
And your brain's like, 3D. And one of those shapes is like a little hook. One of those shapes that your brain recognizes is a little hook, and it looks like this. Hold up. It's kind of like this. It's like this check mark, like a Nike shape, like a Nike logo, right? And it can come in all different shapes and sizes, but essentially it looks something like this. And your brain, when it sees this shape, it just thinks like realistic stuff for some reason. You know, we can squish this down to match it a little bit better. But like this little check mark, it'll look like a Nike logo. And it's the reason that this happens is just because of how like objects come together. Like you could draw a sphere and your brain goes, oh, like there's a lit side, there's a dark side. It just feels like more than just a shape. It kind of feels three-dimensional in a way.
Are there any monthly progress drawings from your students?
I
don't know about, I don't think monthly
progress drawings,
but people do post their homework assignments and how it benefits them and stuff in our Discord.
Yeah.
Someone also asked if our Discord's only for students.
No,
we also,
anybody can join.
Yeah, we have a Discord server that anyone can join.
Right. So that kind of stuff happens a lot. And
how do you control your brain? That's the question.
That's the art part. That's like the difficulty of doing it, you know?
That's cool.
Like this could be whatever. I mean, we could even just have like this sort of thing come down. This could come up. And this could just be like a waterfall or something in the background.
Wow, pretty. This is Photoshop, yes.
And then we could have a river. And then maybe, you know, if it's like water or something, we could have like a reflection here. Could have light hitting the ground there. We could have the side of the river. Have rocks in the river or whatever. I don't really know one. And another thing that your brain is really good at recognizing is shapes getting smaller as they get closer to the horizon line. So if you like draw the ground, or if you draw like a shot, let's say my horizon line is way up here, shapes that are down here a lot of the time will be like thicker and fatter than shapes that are closer to that line. So like if I go back in space, these lines a lot of the time will get thinner and thinner and thinner, and your brain is just like good at recognizing them. So if you have like something that pops up over the horizon, like a building or something, it could look like that. But your brain just tends to recognize these shapes really well. So shapes that stick out will look like this, and then they'll have a thin shadow. So this rock right here in this scene would probably go like right here. Why didn't I put it like down here? Well, because if I put it down here, I would probably want to make the shadow a lot fatter. So it would probably go like more like that, or like a shape that might be like that, because I'm looking more down at it. And so then this shape, I may end up putting like this. And what you have in real life is you have shapes going in front of other shapes a lot. So if this line goes back here, maybe the lit side of the rock will come in front of this dark shape that's on the ground right here. And so you can start to get like a feeling of depth even without going, oh, it's dark up here and it's lighter as it goes away from me. And this is what a lot of the painters, you know, from back in the day did. And especially if you start like adding recognizable, you know, recognizable things in the background, like a lot of painters would do, like, you know, like a city or like a town in the background. And like, what does your brain recognize as a city or town? Well, it recognizes little pokes and like church steeples and stuff, and like little buildings,
Structural buildings.
Yeah, like structural buildings. So you just go, well, these stick up, they're not squished,
They're kind of spaced apart a specific way.
yeah, they're spaced apart, they're kind of scattered in specific ways. And so you go, well, there's a town in the distance. And you, like, whatever the heck this is in the foreground, I have no idea. Like, it could be the shadow of something. Like, maybe I just stick a barrel here or something, and I like make the shadow of it. What does a barrel look like? Well, the top is an ellipse. The side of it, this is going to be in shadow, and it's going to cast a fat shape. If I had a barrel up here, well, the side of it would be more of a rectangle, and it would cast a thin shape because it's further away. And these types of things just tend to read as environments, like, oh, like something's going on. I don't know what it is, but it's like familiar in a way. You're just like, yeah, it kind of feels like something that would exist. You know, you could have a building up here, and it could go in front of this, and it could maybe cast a shadow, I don't know, like this, and maybe there's like a fence or something, right? So it could look like this. You're like, yeah, it kind of feels like something, maybe like a little roof coming out. Your brain's used to seeing roofs. See how it like looks like an environment? It's almost like this like vague environment that's not specifically described, but it's kind of like using shapes that your brain recognizes. Like, it looks like an environment of some kind, especially if I put like some crap like grass here. And I just use a little bit of checkerboarding. So I make this white and I make this black. Whoa. And you're like, oh, that's grass.
That's grass.
Because it's what your brain recognizes as grass. And so I go more grass, but this is smaller because it's further away. So let's just make it like that.
What do you think about value strategies? How important is it?
Super important.
Super important. Value is how you see the world. Like how your brain like filters light from dark.
And now what you can do he would cast a shadow because he's being hit by light, so you know this shadow would be going somewhere. Whoa. Maybe there's like a person back in there or something, right? Maybe they have a shadow. Their jacket or their shirt is casting a shadow.
That's cool.
Maybe they're like in the ground. I don't know what this is exactly. Come on, get out of here.
What's the difference between perspective and depth? They're the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, once you have perspective, there is depth. Like,
yeah,
it's like depth is like a byproduct in a way.
We could stack more barrels and stuff here as well. There, now we have like a whole bunch of them stacked. But you'll see that like if I put a barrel down here, the top would be larger. If I put a barrel down here, the top would be larger. Like you're seeing more of the top, you're seeing less of the top, because this is my horizon line right here, right? That's my horizon line. And so if I have circles on the horizon line, it kind of looks like as you start to look down at it, and this goes below you. Right, if these are like cylinders, they kind of look like this. right? Like, oh, I'm looking down at it. So like any shape that's in my mind, like I know if I'm getting way up here, I'm not going to get a shape like this. If it's the top of something, because you just wouldn't get it, right? I would get a shape that's like that. If it's a rock, that's the top of the rock, and then this big dark shape is the side that's facing me. More rocks, right? But these rocks are going to cast shadows, and those shadows are going to be on this ground, right? And so those shadows, if they're close to the horizon line, are going to be flatter, and if they're further from the horizon line, they're going to be a little bit wider, right? They may even just go like that, and let's test it, right? We can just take this and go and drag it over, put it like right there. So it's like, yeah, kind of like a pile of rocks. It kind of works.
How do I start art with no experience? Draw a bunch.
Yeah, just try and draw stuff. You know, you can take like a fundamentals class or like, you know, some beginner classes. I would really recommend like kind of figure out what you want to start with. Like think like, what do I want to start with? And then maybe take like a class. So if you want to draw people, take like a figure drawing class and just go in, and you're going to learn so much stuff so fast. Because when you don't know very much, you learn a bunch fast because everything's new. So it's actually super fun.
That's
to like
the funnest part.
Start, yeah. So if I wanted like a roof on this, what if there's like a slope? Then it would just be, you know, you'd be drawing on top of this, or you'd be painting on top of this. So it's like the tree example, right? I'll take these mountains in the background out. It'd be the tree example, like everything's just going to adhere to the plane of that slope.
Whoa.
Which is like this. It's like, wow, it magically appeared. Like you could see it. So there's a rock on this slope. You know, you're still going to have a lit side and a shadowed side. So maybe it's like, I don't know, like that. And then the shadow, instead of going like this, is going to go down this plane. Assuming the light's coming from the right.
What if we are not graduated to start getting classes? What does that mean?
I don't even know what that means. Yeah.
Like, do you mean you're not old enough to get classes? Do you mean, oh, well, I'm in high school right now? Or, I don't know. You can get classes anytime. I would say, if you can find, I mean, if you can't convince your parents to take you to a class, then yeah, I mean, like, you can watch tutorials if you want. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, this is free art class for sure.
Just don't know how to start getting classes. We, well,
I mean, we have classes,
we have classes,
but you can look up like figure drawing classes. It depends on what you want to learn.
Yeah.
Because like, do you want animal drawing classes? Do you want, like, what do you want to learn how to do, like, drawing wise? Yeah, and all these shapes way back here would be super squished, so they just kind of come up as like a lines. And then if there was like a, I don't know, mountain in the background, it might just look like that.
Oh.
But then your city, you might get like the negative space of it instead, or like the lit sides. So maybe we get that.
Is Clip Studio Paint the best for manga and animation? I don't know if it's the best, but I know that a lot of people who make comics use Clip Studio Paint. But you can basically make comics with any program. I think Clip Studio was made for, like, you know, with screen tones and comic pages in mind. So yeah, you can start there.
And so, like, what do these roofs look like, right? Like, what does the roof of like a building or a barn or something look like? Well, it comes down like this. and it'll have these supports a lot of the time running along it. Let's like draw like the underside, like the bottom of it or something, right? So here's the underside of it, and you've got like these supports coming down, like these boards a lot of the time, and they'll come along and they'll go like this.
Whoa.
Right? They kind of look like that. And like here's the roof, and it comes out, and then above there's that. And so like we're looking up at this from the bottom. Well, what shape does this create? I'll draw the roof. I'll draw the support. I'll draw another support. And you can kind of just go like, yeah, it kind of looks like that.
Can drawing every day help me to stop shaky hands?
Probably.
I think so.
Right? We could draw maybe like a little strut of a support right there.
Like a little shack.
And so this is all just completely from imagination, but yet there's a certain believability to it. Like, because I'm using shapes that tend to commonly occur in the real world.
Wow.
Like if I drew a rock here with a shadow, it probably would look, you know, something like that.
It's just like you're creating something from thin air.
And it's just like, it's just a bunch of shapes that tend to occur. And so like drawing a lot from real life and observation, you start to recognize these types of shapes. You'll start to recognize believable shapes of things. I don't like this mass right here that much. I think it could be kind of cool with just
emptiness. How do you paint trees that could look natural? My tree always seems flat.
Trees are three-dimensional volumes, so
Yeah.
you would paint them as those three-dimensional volumes. You know, maybe we get another fence out here, probably a little
What if
bit
they were
further.
like cattle?
I don't really paint cattle very much.
And sheepies. Remember the
could look
sheepy
like-
fluffers?
Yeah, I remember that. You know, they could maybe look something like.
Whoa. Oh, yep. There's a cow.
It doesn't look like a very good cow.
But you can kind of tell it is a cow.
And then it has like, it'll have a shadow.
Or it could be a horse. Oh, that's fun.
You know, and then you just go in and find specific reference once it's in the right spot. You go, okay, well, this one's further, this one's not. Maybe we'll like mass a couple of them together to create a more interesting shape. And then you'll definitely have some sort of like legs coming down. Something, and then you'll have shadows coming out. So maybe those can be the cattle. And then I think some of their like heads, like maybe we'll make this the head on this side. And it'll come down and kind of like, I don't know, graze.
Eat grass.
Touch grass.
Touch grass. How to draw a cat, you know, beats me. I don't know how to draw cats very much.
Yeah.
Kitty? Speaking of kitties, maybe I'll bring one in.
There's a cat.
Oh, it's so cute.
How would you start adding bounce light from snow, for example? I would establish this first. If this was all snow, I wouldn't see the grass. A lot of it would be context. But like you'd value group it. So like something like that. You know, I could just take this entire shot and go raise it. Actually, I'll just like copy and paste it because I don't want to destroy that. I'll just like raise this whole value group.
Whoa.
And then I'll just draw in some of the darker parts, like down here, you know, and now I'm just drawing around other stuff. So I'm gonna bring this from like a 2 value to like a 3 value painting.
Whoa.
And I would use the exact same process, right? So like 2 values to 3 values. And then, you know, back in here, we could have some of that. The shadows tend to be a little bit darker than the sides of things because no bounce light is hitting the shadows. Like the skylight is hitting the shadows, but bounce coming from the ground. I never really intended to make this like a snowy scene because I added grass, but I think I'll keep it. I think I'll keep it like a grass scene. See?
Wow.
Just add an extra value, but my composition stayed.
That's really cool.
Right, this part's facing up, so it's probably going to be a little bit darker.
You can argue that the light bits are like the snow that landed on top.
I'm not going to draw snow
anymore.
I like this being kind of a grass scene.
Mm-hmm.
But snow, it just gives a lot of bounce light.
Yeah.
But your structure overall would still be the same. You know, and then we could go in here and make a new layer and just go find like a lighter.
Wow.
And there we go. There's like 1, 2, 3 values. And then if we want to add a 4th value, we can just do it nice and, you know, sparingly and go maybe something like that.
It's crazy how like just effortless those steps are. It's like you just separated the light and dark, and then you kind of like expanded upon the light and darkness, and then you're just adding just a few more things.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It happens very fast. This is the hard part. All of the shapes are the difficult thing. Adding extra values is just don't wreck this step. Like that's basically my only objective is like don't ruin the hard part when you do the easy part. That's like one of the most difficult things with painting is like just don't wreck the hard part with the not as hard part.
Well, like they think that this part's generally the harder part.
Yeah, rendering is not the hard part. Like adding extra values, it's not like it's easy, it's just it's not the hard part. The hard part is this. Because this is design, shape language, dimensional drawing. I didn't make a line work for this. I just drew the shapes of the lights and shadows. So like usually what someone would do is they'd go, here's a box. Here's the light. Here's the ground that the box is sitting on. Here's the light hitting the box. And this. And this. Here's the lit side of the box. And the shadowed side of the box. Right? I just skipped the line part, so I'm just like, you know, well, here's the shadowed side of the box. And here's the shadow that comes off of the box. And then I'm like, well, you can't really see the box, so maybe I'll, you know, maybe I'll put something coming out from behind the box, right? That allows you to see the box. And so it's like, here's the top of it. And then should probably have something right here that allows us to see the box. There's the box. So in my head, it's this. Like I'm kind of going, well, there's a box here and it takes 3-dimensional space. So if I want to be able to see that, you know, maybe I put like a building or something behind the box, or maybe I put like another box on the top of this box.
Whoa.
And so we've got a shadow, and then this shadow, you know, would come out and do something interesting. And then this edge would go like this. And I'm doing everything in just 2 values, strictly 2 values. I did that with here. But just, it's like vague, right? So like I don't have to figure out exactly what's going on. Just kind of. And then if I want to add an extra value to this, I'm just not going to mess up what I've already done. So it has to stay with a general light and dark. Adding extra values, like, I'm just making sure, like, I'm not messing up my original one, so that's kind of a cute little...
That's cute. I like it.
Cute little shot.
Working on our portfolio due in 3 days. Good luck. What
Good
should
luck.
I draw? Still lifes.
Up to you.
Up to you.
Whatever
Do
is
whatever you want.
required for the portfolio.
Yeah. Whatever's required. Like, if they just say, oh, just, you know, come up with 6 pieces of whatever that you want, then do whatever you want.
And you can just kind of go in and continually fix and refine.
That's so cool. What? Yeah, it happens so fast. It's just crazy. Like, once you know the basic steps and you know what you need, like, you can have an environment in, like, a few minutes.
Yeah, and I never did figure out what these things were. Like, I probably wouldn't move into 4 values before I kind of figure out more stuff, right? I would figure more stuff out in this stage because I don't have to work with a bunch of different values.
Let's see. Is it Discord for students only? No.
Nope, our
Nope.
Discord is open. You
For
can
anyone.
join it.
But there are server rules in there, so make sure you keep those in mind. We got that comment again.
What? What the heck? That's the 3rd Shanique Judy Yan Thompson this week. How many people out there have the same exact name, writing the same exact book?
Bye, MJ.
And it's like, if I want to add the cylinder, I just go, here's the lit side, here's the shadowed side, here's the box. And now that's probably not entirely accurate. It's probably more like this. And notice I'm not rendering at all. I don't need to render. If I were to render, it would look like this. Like, you just add another layer of
Value or like transition.
Yeah, you just add some transition. It's like, oh my gosh. You know, if I wanted to smooth out the side of this box, I do that.
That's a
If I wanted
pillow.
to smooth out the side of this box, I do that. Like, it's not super complicated. Like, the rendering is not at all the difficult part. Like, the rendering is just creating a transition from one value to another. It doesn't change where edges are or anything.
Is there deadlines? Is there... you mean for anime art school?
No.
No, there's no deadline.
There's a recommended pace, but you have it forever. You can go through at your own pace whenever you want.
Yep. By the way, our anime art school is 20% off with the code WINTER. Just another reminder.
Yes.
Our school.
And I do teach this,
Yeah,
like
Colton does teach
long
this.
form, every single part
Yep.
in my painting class in our anime art school. So, like, if you're fascinated by what I was doing, I explain all of it in depth. Like, I
And he gives
explain
you
the
assignments.
shapes. I explain why doing still lifes and studies are so important for learning this kind of stuff.
And
But
it's
yeah.
currently 20% off with the code WINTER. So just take a screenshot for later.
I find this kind of stuff really fun. I'm not really the anatomy and character artist.
I'm not the perspective and backgrounds teacher.
I do this. I find this type of stuff much more comfortable.
Yep.
This will be darker. That's fun. That reminds me of like a childhood scene or something, like a
Yeah.
from my childhood. It happens so fast. Like, it just comes together really, really, really fast.
Look.
That's cute.
How's everyone doing this lovely Monday?
These are pretty giant. I feel like these would be smaller, you know.
Oh.
And all these scale issues and stuff, they're like pretty easy to fix later on. It's like, is the thing in the right spot?
Just shrink it. See, I wouldn't really even be able to tell if that was too big or not. That's
It just feels a little large. It's not quite right. I would go back in and like work more on it and stuff. But it's all this. Like, this part right here is the hard part. Like, the second part came together so fast.
Because the first stage was already established.
Yeah. Because the first stage was done. Did it.
I love this live. Thank you, Starlight.
Oops, I don't want to save that.
Those look 3D, but they're not OMG. Yeah. It's all about the dimensional drawing.
Yeah, it's weird because you can actually memorize the types of shapes that tend to occur in certain situations. And then you can paint an environment starting very abstractly without even knowing what anything is. You can kind of just like blob it out. Like, I want a blob in the distance and I want it to be this big and it's going to cast a shadow and it's probably going to look something like this. It's weird, you know, how that works. You just like blob things out abstractly and then you can turn them into stuff later. So much bots today.
I wonder why.
Because we're popping off.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
kidding. I have no idea. Is this rendering? I wasn't doing any rendering today. I was just showing like basically the light and dark side of objects, of things. Rendering would be like showing every surface as it responds to the light. What I was doing was I was just blocking out the light and the shadows and separating them into large groups. Appreciate it, Maru. For my characters to look like my favorite artist drawings, I would just have to study them. Your class offers the fundamentals to do that. Yeah, our school is a fundamental school, so it focuses much less on the style and more on the underlying foundations, like the perspective, the anatomy, the like theory behind design and color theory and all that. And then all that's really left is you can break down someone's particular style, because I can assure you, if they're a professional, they know this stuff. A lot of beginners think that in order to draw like their favorite artist, they just need to study their favorite artist, but they actually need to study the language that their favorite artist uses.
Okay.
And
Facts.
then after they study the language, you can study how they apply that language. You know, it's like, I don't know, studying a poet who's an English speaker. If you don't know English, it's like you would first need to learn English and then you would study the poet.
That's so true.
It's sort of like that. Like, if your favorite artist is good at perspective, you don't study their perspective, you study perspective, and then you go, oh, now I see how they apply it. When you guys are still practicing, have you ever felt like you weren't getting anywhere? I still feel that way a lot.
Bro, I literally feel that right now.
It's just you learn to ignore it and proceed. Like your brain will lie to yourself like crazy. It happens to this day. Like I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything.
I'll be like, no, yeah.
But like I'll know in my mind, if I keep practicing and studying, I trust the process because it's worked so far. So yeah, 100%. Hi, Artemis. How you doing?
Hey,
Artemis, are you in Secret Santa? Like, their way of shading, cross-hatching, etc. Yeah. So, like, we don't teach cross-hatching, but cross-hatching, like, cross-hatch what, right? Like, this environment right here, I could have cross-hatched all of this, right? If this were drawn with a pen, all of the black area could be cross-hatched. But it's like, how do you know the black area, right? Cross-hatching is like a technique. I would actually recommend there's a book called Framed Drawing Techniques, and he breaks down a bunch of different like drawing techniques. Cross-hatching is like a way to fill space with a value. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Secret Santa submissions are closed. Cross-hatching is a way to fill a space with a tone, right? It's like a technique.
Yeah, it's also like a way to like simplify or like jazz up shading. Because like, yeah, you can definitely...
Yeah, or it's just practical.
Yeah.
Cross-hatching is very practical for traditional mediums.
Yeah, like you can either fill a sphere like this, just flat, or you can hatch it.
When you do color, do you do grayscale first, then add color layers on top? No. I go straight into color generally. Like,
I'm not very good at hatching, but like...
I could do it that way, but I generally don't. Not when I make like a painting or something. But it's a really good way to learn. It's a really good way to learn.
We won the tournament yesterday. That's sick, Artemis.
Oh, that's fun.
What is that? What is...
Soccer, right?
Oh.
Soccer stuff.
Brush do you recommend for line art and Procreate? Not very much. I don't know. The only line art brush I've ever used was Syrup, but it's not necessarily the best brush. It's just the one that I'm most familiar with, but like sometimes you'll just see like these weird edges, you know, which can look kind of ugly. Brush. I don't like it either. I just prefer...
when you're making a huge drawing and you're getting really small with your details, it just looks terrible.
It does look terrible.
But if you're drawing large, it's good.
Yeah. I like brushes that don't have like that jaggedy texture, but something like that's a little bit smoother.
How is y'all's days going? It's good. We're doing pretty good. You know, we're just doing our thing here. I'm about ready to wrap up if you want.
Yeah.
That demo that I did had nothing to do with anatomy.
You know, but that's fine.
I love talking about that kind of thing. It's so cool. Like, to me, it's so fascinating watching like an environment materialize just by drawing shapes.
Absolutely. I need to do that. I need to try that. But like, I feel like I just need to do like a bunch of like environment studies, like Google Street View or something, and just
those are hard.
Those are hard.
I'll show you like a paint over that I did recently.
Like, cause really the only thing I can do right now is boxes, which I mean, you know, that's not a bad thing or anything like that. It's just that's all I can do. No, I just got here. Well, that one's cool. It's been a while since I've joined one of y'all's streams. Cat, nice.
Oh, hello.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is along the lines of that. I found this piece really difficult, but you know, after breaking it, after spinning a while, well, it was like a paint over, but I did a lot of painting over.
Oh, okay.
Like this, right? So this is like a Google Street View.
That's hard.
And you'll notice that if I'm doing this in 4 values, right? I'm doing this in 4 values. And so I built this is actually the zipper. The zigzag.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the sand and the sand in the light, the sand in the shadow, the rock in the light, the rock in the shadow. And so the sand in the shadow and the rock in the light are actually the same value, basically.
Oh my gosh.
So we've grouped them into one. So you can see over here, rock in the light is the same value as sand in the shadow. And so we're basically reusing values. And so this is like the study, right, of the beach. And every single one of these shapes has been broken down, and you can see it's exactly what I was doing in my little demo earlier. Like, you got the lit side of the rock, you got the shadowed side of the rock, then you have the cast shadow on the sand coming out. And when they're all together, your brain is just really good at recognizing these shapes. And they're all in perspective contextually. It's a wide lens, so these shapes over here are getting like stretched.
Wow.
Right? But like, I know that, right? So, oh, I'm drawing a rock on the edge of my lens, and it's a wide lens. What does that mean? It means these shapes get stretched like this. So every single shape I draw, instead of, you know, whatever, a box, it'll be like this.
Huh, that's crazy.
Instead of this. And in my mind converts it. So like, you know, there's those rocks and they're stretched.
Okay.
So when I do studies, there's like so much underlying knowledge. And again, this was like a demo, like a paint over for a student. And your brain just like recognizes this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, it's like rocks and stuff on a beach. But this is a very hard shot to break down, in my opinion. It's fun though, and there's like a lot of good lessons within it. Like, especially with like, how do you break down something as complicated as like this?
Colton, you might need to give me some assignments for this kind of stuff.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Art of Anam, hello.
Hey.
Missed y'all stream so much. Awesome. Glad you are able to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been here long? Because we're probably going to wrap up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think studies from like Google Street View it's very difficult because number one, it's terrible photos. Most of the time they're terrible photos. So you have to take a lot of liberties in your design. It's like a very strong design assignment. It's not just like copy this. It's group. Simplify.
Oh.
Get rid of certain things. So like doing virtual plein airs from like Google Street View is extremely difficult.
Wow.
Because the photos are literally terrible, and you have to do a lot of different stuff to make them look better while copying. So it's like,
that's hard.
It's a hard assignment.
No wonder why I always have a tough time doing those.
I would much rather recommend like master studies in 4 values or 2 values. Those are a bunch of like Miki poses right there.
It's cute. Is Laurel School a good school to go to for? I've never been there.
I have no idea. I don't even know what that is.
Is it like a fine art school?
I am the worst person to ask about art schools, by the way. I went to a school called FZD, School of Design. It was an industrial design school that focused on teaching students so they could get hired in concept art. And after that, I attended Art Center College of Design, the entertainment design track, for 2 terms, and then I left. And that's my extent of school knowledge. I know Cal Arts is supposed to be a pretty good animation school. I don't know. I can't verify that. I never went there. I know Rhode Island School of Design, RISD.
Yeah, I've heard of RISD.
I heard that one's decent, but I don't know.
I don't know. I remember I used to go to art high school, and they would always recommend those colleges. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if it's because they were sponsored or if it's just because it's good. I don't know.
I have a very difficult time recommending things if I don't know about them because I feel like it's a disservice for me to do that. I can tell you how I would find out if it's a good school, if you're interested in that. I am no stranger to researching things to see if they're so you can make up your mind on them. How important would you say learning environments is for a character artist? Not at all, depending on what you want to do. If you just want to do character design, you don't have to do environments at all. Like Ben, I don't think he ever did any environment design. I could ask him sometime, but
I mean, I don't think it's bad to learn it as well because more well-rounded.
Bro, I can't wait to get back to my book. Let's go.
Let's do it.
I don't think generally people put in nearly enough due diligence into what college they're attending, and I think a lot of the time things that should be less of a factor end up being the things that is more of a factor. Like the location. Oh, it's within driving distance. It's like if there's like a crap school within driving distance, they would go there before they would go to like a really good school. Or people put a lot of weight on certain things in college that I don't think is very wise. Like one teacher that you might get in like term 6. They'll like go to a school and you'll be like, well, there's this teacher. And it's like, you don't even know if the teacher's going to be working there when you get to their class.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's so, like, the number of times that I have seen students get into a school and they immediately change the entire program and rework everything, and then you're just like a guinea pig term is way too high. Way too high. It's insane. Like a new department chair will come in and they'll revise the entire program and replace a lot of the teachers, and you don't even know about it. You're just like, I thought we were having this class. No, actually, we're having this class instead. But that's not even when I came in to study. It's crazy. You're spending like so much money going to a school and they just like switch it up. It's crazy. It should be like illegal. I don't even know. Like, that's crazy to me.
I think that's pretty crazy.
Now, there's definitely schools that are worth going to. I think it's very specific schools do very specific things well. Like, you know, the entertainment design or like the transportation design program at Art Center is great. Like, it's been great for a long time. I don't know if it's still great, but it was great for a really long time. But like other departments that they have, not worth going to at all. But like if you're studying transportation design, if you want to draw cars for a living and get hired at like Mercedes, like Art Center is great for that.
Yeah.
Art Center was great the last time I checked because things change fast. But like, I don't know, like the animation department at Art Center that might not be at that level, or I don't know, like the illustration track. I remember I was talking to one guy a long time ago, a really, really good artist. He had gone to the illustration track in Art Center, and I messaged him, and I'm like, if I don't get into the entertainment design track, would you recommend illustration? And he was like, no, it's complete crap. He's like, he's like, it was so bad. Like, I literally had to hire mentors and teach myself while in school.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. And he was super good. But he said it was so not worth it. The only reason he stayed is because he had huge pressure from his parents to stay, and it wasn't necessarily like it was hurting him. Because he could like hire mentors on the side and practice and go to like brainstorming stuff. Like, if you're thinking of going to a college and you're not doing an astronomical amount of research and due diligence and like inquiring and messaging or emailing teachers and current students and current industry professionals, I think you should be.
Makes me feel a lot better because I worry I have to go to a private art school to succeed.
No, a lot of people teach themselves.
Yeah.
Some of my absolute favorite artists taught themselves. And by teach themselves, I mean they didn't receive like formal education in a college. Like they would find mentors, they would find classes online, they would learn from books. There's a lot of good books out there that you can like self-study and go through.
Yeah. I'd love to see before and after progress from one of your students. Honestly, you should look at Kevin Romero's stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually on our website.
Yeah, we have a
have
bunch of before
testimonials.
and afters on our site. Have you been to the page yet?
Yeah.
That talks about the school? Because there's a lot of before and afters on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of information on there
Yeah.
that would answer a lot of the questions.
It's drawanime.com.
But you can also go to our Discord server and ask around. I'm sure a lot of students would be happy to post before and after stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like one single person can make or break. Like one, or I should say, one teacher can make or break an entire department. Like a Will Weston. You know? Like if there was a college that Will Weston taught like 4 or 5 of the classes of, I would say it's probably worth it.
Yes.
Like,
I would say that's very worth it because
it's crazy.
it's like vetting.
Well, it's like one teacher can completely make or break whether something is worth it to go to or not. One figure drawing teacher, right?
Yep.
And like the worst thing ever, it sucks, it happens so much, is people are like, I'm gonna go to this college, I got accepted, and then they find out the teacher they really wanted is not gonna be teaching there. Or they're
That's hard.
even worse yet, 2 teachers teach the class and you get the one you didn't want.
Oh.
Like, how is that even physically
Bro.
possible? Like you really want a specific teacher, so you attend a school for that teacher and they put you in a class that the other guy teaches. Like, that's crazy to me. And it's just like complete chance. That's insane.
That's
like the fact that that can even happen is nuts.
Man, that is nuts.
Oh, I've had some advisors at my school say I need to have a bachelor's to get into a studio. Have you talked to people who are currently doing the job that you want to do? What do they have to say about it? Because, like, I would assume, and I'm not saying they're lying or anything, but I would assume people at a school would want you to stay in the school. I would very much look for unbiased third parties who would know what they're talking about, just to double check. What are you working on? Informal subdivision?
Yeah, I'm trying that.
He does this. He does this, and then this.
Oh.
And then he crosses this one.
Oh.
And then all of the squares, or all of the
okay.
rectangles that have not been split in half. Like that one would create an X.
Yeah. Like this?
You could do like to here. To here.
Oh, okay.
If you want any rectangle that has not been split in half, you can split it, and then it creates a new set of lines. Yeah.
Okay.
As I talk to my professors or are active in the industry, and they say it doesn't matter, to be honest, I would probably believe your professors. I would do more research. Stack the number of people. Like, if you ask 3 people, it's a very small sample size. If you ask 20 people, you'll generally get a much better idea. And I'm not like telling you what to do. I don't want to tell you what to do. I think the largest sample size possible is probably good. And as many unbiased people as possible. Preferably people you're not giving money to, or if you pay them for advice, it's like a one-time thing, right? It's like I'm hiring you to give me advice rather than my advice is going to cause you to continually give me money type of thing.
Yeah.
That would be my recommendation. You know, to just go through and you know what? You know another thing that I found that I did a lot?
What?
I would constantly connect to the edges, but you can actually just do this. You could do that.
Bro. Okay.
Or you could do like
It's so confusing because I'm like, I don't know where to connect.
Like this. It's just creating different rhythm lines. See, I constantly did that. And I was like, why does Loomis's look so much better than mine? And I really looked at it and I realized that he wasn't connecting them to the edges all the time. He would like connect them within. So like, look at these lines, right? Like look at these lines and try to find like a nice variation. See, like this, like if they're all kind of going like this,
yeah,
then it doesn't feel as good. You could
good.
do that a couple times. Like if you get one like going from here and one, you know, going to like here, like that feels interesting. Or it could be like, oh, I'm gonna have like one going there.
I wouldn't even know. Like see, the part is, I'll get to this point, I'll be like, I have no idea what to put in this thing. Which I think we'll just, you know, I'll just have to try some stuff and just be like, okay, well.
Well, like what story is in your head? Like what are you thinking?
I don't know what story. I just started dividing.
That's exactly the problem that I ran into. And I found that when I actually started with a story or something that I wanted to illustrate, it actually became a lot easier. Like what type of...
Start with grid. Start with story first.
That's what I found. Like you could definitely play with shapes, but I find it's like when it's literally could be anything. Like it could be a pile of rocks to like a scene of, you know, someone chasing someone else. I find it's just, there's so much freedom. It's like you can't think of anything.
Yeah. What is this grid? No, I just started doing it just for the heck of it. This is from Andrew Loomis's creative illustration book.
Yeah, it's called Informal Subdivision.
Yeah.
It's just a way to help organize compositions and create unity inside of like a composition. Mm-hmm. I don't even see that question though.
What?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
No, Christina's just messing around and trying stuff. This is in like the first 30 pages of creative illustration by Andrew Loomis. You know, everybody always talks about the Loomis head method. That's like, in my opinion, one of the smaller contributions to art that he made. He has so many insanely good tips about a lot. His head method is like, it's not bad, it's good. It's just not nearly as useful as a lot of his other stuff, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh, bro, like his content, his stuff in his books is so good. You exit. You put a cross through the middle. I really spent time studying this because it confused the heck out of me, bro.
Through this middle?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then you go where those split and you bring it down. And then you split anything else.
Like that?
Yeah, and you can create little ones as well.
But
you can also just add another line somewhere if you want. Or like another split. Like you can control it. It's super flexible. So you could go, oh, I'm just going to put one like...
Oh, so it doesn't
I'm just going to put one like
right
here.
There.
But that means that this has to go like this.
Oh.
Right? And then you could go, I don't know, this...
To there.
To there.
Because like that's one square. Oh.
Here's one. I missed. I should probably go from the middle. I guess that worked a little better.
Huh.
You know, and you can go any of them. You could do that. Oh, and we need to split this too.
Okay.
And now any of these can get split as long as they haven't already been split. He was basically saying that you don't want to do this to any box.
Okay.
Like split it in the middle.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Just because it creates symmetry. And this informal subdivision, like the informal part, means we don't want symmetry.
Yeah. Tickle Monster made the edit.
Really?
I'm actually super curious now.
Oh, awesome. What are we learning right now? Oh, I was just telling Christina about informal subdivision.
Where is it? Is it in the server fan art? Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh!
Wait! Oh
That's cute. I like that.
Oh my gosh. Hold up. Hold up. Okay.
Is your brightness up?
No, it's not up because people need to see this masterpiece. Tickle Monster just made an edit of our characters using my drawings, and it's so good.
Yeah, it's so cute. Wait, look at this.
Hold up.
Unfortunately, we can't we can't do the audio because we're gonna get like copyright struck on YouTube. But y'all should go into is it in server fan art?
Oh my god.
Y'all should go into server fan art and check that out. That's so fun.
You know, this is where the silhouette actually becomes very important because I can actually like tell which characters are which.
That's fun. I really like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally Naomi. Look, she looks like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
I was initially thinking, what if Naomi's nickname was Mickey Mouse? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wait, and the colors match so well. Tickle Monster, how do you do this stuff? This is so crazy.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I can never edit this kind of stuff. See, like, I wish I was doing this when I really was like passionate about content creation. I would just like do it for fun. But yeah, it's crazy.
You know what we were talking about earlier with the whole college thing. It gets really hard when you really want to go to a certain place, but all of the evidence is saying no, or like you're so far in the process of attending a school, and then you go, this place actually probably isn't that good, but I've already put so much effort into getting to this place. One of my friends, he got accepted into Art Center. Kind of whistled there. He got accepted into Art Center in the entertainment design track. He got a huge scholarship. He moved to California, Pasadena, to attend the school, and he decided that he wasn't going to attend the school.
Wow.
And he just left. He didn't leave. There was nothing to leave, but like he never even attended his first day. He dropped out before he even started. It's like that takes like determination. If you like get all the way through the pipeline and then you go, wait, this actually probably isn't a great idea, and then like dead stop and choose something different. He was actually what made him decide not to go. Just researching, talking to people in the program, looking over the horizon and going, what might they do in the future that changes up the curriculum? Because it's a stinking expensive school, right? And he even had a huge scholarship.
Wow.
Yeah, he ended up studying at Brainstorm and taking mentorships. It's super expensive. Like the amount of money that would go into that school, you could pay for like mentorships from some of like the best artists. If it doesn't work great, it doesn't work great. Like it's kind of like more of like an objective thing. So he ended up self-studying and practicing and all that. He's actually one of my most successful artist friends. He's an art director now at a really big studio. It took him, I don't know, 7 years or so? 6, 7 years? Uh-oh. I said the magic numbers. The magic haha numbers. That used to be my dream school, but too broke to afford that. I wouldn't recommend Art Center personally. Having been there, Christina's been there. I know many people have gone there. I wouldn't recommend it. There are so many affordable alternatives out there. Mentors, classes, everything. I would say the one main benefit is just that you're surrounded by other people who are also working hard towards the goal. But you can create that environment yourself. One of the biggest benefits of college, in my opinion, or like a school, is just being surrounded by other people who are working towards the same goal or a similar goal. But it's not like you can't create that environment yourself. It's not like you have to spend 20 grand a term to create that environment. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's just like overcoming all of what you've been told your whole life and looking at a situation objectively. Like, but I have to go. It's like, no, you don't. Like, you just talked to like 15 professionals who said it doesn't matter. Like, do you think they're like lying? It's like, no, but
It's almost like this belief.
yeah, it's like breaking that belief structure a lot of the time. And it's like, you talk to a whole bunch of people who know what they're talking about, and they're telling you something that is like kind of counter to what you've always thought. It's very difficult to like throw out or like put what you thought on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time it's just easier to get into a crap load of debt and be like, I'll just figure it out later. And then, you know, you're 35 and you're just like, oh my gosh, bro, why did I do this?
Yeah.
I have a couple art friends who were like, why did I not listen to what people were telling me, and I just went on that path? Like, oh my gosh, bro.
No. So sad.
Like paying off college debt for just decades because it's like, I didn't even try. Like, why did I do that? Yeah, like I would say one of the scummiest sales tactics, in my opinion, is just rush into the decision and figure out how to deal with it later. I think colleges do that a lot. And I don't think they're held accountable for it a lot of the time. Like, they're just encouraging people to like screw themselves 10 years down the line. And they like don't even care. Not all of them. Like, that's literally why Christina and I decided to make our school. Like, part of the reason is because we want to make affordable education. Like, I was helped out, and there's a lot of affordable education that I learned, that I used. And there was a channel that existed in the past. They went live every single Sunday and gave help to people and taught and all kind of stuff. And I was like, someday I'm going to make my own channel and going to help people learn how to make art. Not even necessarily for professionally, just like how to get better. And that's Anime Academy. You know, eventually it was just like, it is time. Funny enough, one of the guys who ran that channel agreed to come on our channel for an interview. Mm-hmm. His name is Derek Zabroki. He's super good. Super good. Derek Zabroki. He's self-taught. Or like, you know, self-studied. And he is so good, bro. He agreed, now this is like 4 or 5 years ago, to come on the channel. And this is what his work looks like, bro. He is such a good painter. Look at this. This is some of his like concept art.
Oh my goodness.
Concept paintings he did for Off the Grid game a couple years ago. This is what his work looks like. He's so good, dude. I love his work. Secret Level, Warhammer 40K. Like, look how many pieces there are, too. It's just, this guy's been working for a really long time. I watched his YouTube channel back in, like, 2014 or 15. Like, that's so gorgeous right there. He started a school.
Oh, my goodness.
He started a school in Poland. He did a bunch of work for Planet of the Apes. He works Assassin's Creed. Like, look how gorgeous these paintings are. That's so nice, bro.
How do you get a job as a concept artist?
This is a selection of in-class demos he did for his environment class at his school.
Wow.
So these are all like live demos that he did for his class. Like, look at how cool these are. They're so good. And then he's also showing like studies and stuff. His work is so cool, dude. Let me just like look at this juicy painting. Oh, it's so nice. That's good stuff. This is his name, by the way. Derek Zabroki. He ran a YouTube channel that I used to watch a long time ago, and he was one of the guys that inspired me to eventually start this channel with Christina.
Mm-hmm. This is hard. I don't find this very intuitive at all, but it's like actually kind of interesting.
How do you get a job as a concept artist? Have a good portfolio.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that's how you get a job as a concept artist. Like, you have a really good portfolio and you can show that you can design and solve problems, because concept art is problem solving. You are solving problems for people down the line who have to build this stuff in 3D. Lighting problems, level design problems, character design, like whatever it is. Concept industry is really hard these days. It was not nearly as hard when I got in 2016. It's a lot harder. It's different. Like, it's different these days. I don't do concept art these days as well. I haven't done concept art for a couple years. I'll message him, actually. I'll DM him and be like, hey, are you still up for coming on for an interview? Talking? Bro, that would be so cool. That'd be cool. That'd be so He's like one of my art heroes. Like Fang, Scott Robertson, Derek, Wojtek, Jonas, Craig Mullins, dude. So I can be a digital artist without doing 3D. Yeah, I mean, you can. Yeah. A lot of studios will, like, you'll probably want to know it. You'll probably want to know it, but there's definitely jobs you don't need any 3D for. More like a lot of stylized projects and stuff. But that guy, Derek Zabroki, he uses a lot of 3D. He uses a lot of 3D photo bashing. Like, the guy can paint really, really well. But it's concept design, especially when you're working on movies. It's like super, super fast-paced, high speed production. It's all photo bash 3D stuff. Any similar artists? His name is this. I think that's it. Derek. Zabroki. Yeah. I don't know Mark Burnett personally, but he's got a killer work and a big channel. Maybe someday we'll interview him or talk to him or something. We probably need to reach a certain size before certain people would take us seriously, but other people are super chill. They're like really, really insane artists, and they'll be like, yeah, man, I'll come on when you want to do it.
Yeah.
Other people, they're kind of like more famous, like, or more well known, so they're probably busier, or they probably get tons of requests. What's the difference between illustration and concept art? This is a question as old as the mountains, and it's a good one.
Time.
Illustration, the value is in the artwork itself. Concept art, so like the drawing is the product. Concept art, the idea is the product. So after you draw the building and someone 3D models it, the drawing can go and it doesn't matter. So it's a design job. It's like in illustration, the image itself is meant to be viewed by the consumer. So like the Mona Lisa, people look at it, they get enjoyment out of it. Right? An artwork, splash art. Like, the product is meant to be viewed by consumers. Concept art is pre-production. It is something that's not meant to be viewed by consumers, but it's an internal artwork that's made to, like, get to the next stage of production. Like, hey, we need this bridge designed that players are going to walk over. And so you design the bridge, they put it in the game, the concept art never sees the light of day. That's basically the difference. It's a design job versus the image is meant to be consumed. Concept art is not meant to be consumed by the end viewer. How do you make a living out of art? There's a lot of different ways. I only know of art commissions. Commissions is legit. There's a lot of different ways you can get hired by studios. You can have gallery space. You can, oh my gosh, there's just endless. You could do graphic design for a company. like it's so huge. It's so huge. It's like saying, you know, how do you make a living being an engineer? It's like there's so many ways. You can go the entrepreneur route where you make your own business, or you can get hired. Let's do okay. To be a concept artist, should I pursue foundations in traditional art or go to digital? Foundation's foundation. It doesn't matter. You're definitely gonna want to know digital tools though, because that's what the industry's done in. But like, perspective is perspective, whether it's on paper or an iPad. Like, you know, red is red, blue is blue, a square is a square. Loomis has a really good line. I don't know if it's a line. It might be like a couple sentences long or like a paragraph. In the beginning of his book, Creative Illustration, where he talks about the fundamentals, not caring about the medium that you're using. And it's absolutely true. Shapes are shapes, whether they're on a piece of paper, whether they're done in charcoal, oil paint, digital.
New to the channel. Hey, Mark.
I generally think people should start off painting traditionally because there's less to think about. You can start with a really limited palette, and mixing physical paint is really, really good because you get in the mindset of warming colors up or cooling them down. Like, you start with a blue and you go, you know, I want to warm this color up. And so you add the complement to turn it gray. Or you add something to make it more purple. Like, you can warm blue up by adding gray or making it purple. Oil painting kicks my butt. Yeah, it's hard. I find it very difficult. Good night, Artemis. Hey, Nagisa. Were you the one who did the draw from memory challenge on YouTube? I don't think so.
I don't think we ever did a draw from
like
memory
we've drawn things from memory and it was funny on stream, but we never really made like a piece of content out of it. It was just on like a stream. Michi, hello.
Hey, Michi.
You don't know
do
if we
remember.
remember you. What a wild question to ask. Wild. Course.
I don't think we've ever seen another Michi.
I don't think I would ever be able to forget our first Michi. If your OC, Miki, and Abby were Winx fairies, what would their powers be?
We don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about
so
Winx
you
fairies.
can choose if you want.
Yeah, choose something that feels like it would be them.
Yeah.
We'll give you creative liberties with that. Art is super process driven. Super process driven. That picture of him, that's pretty funny. His profile picture, it's like, it's all well professionally done. He's such a goofball, I can't take it seriously just because, like, having watched the old channel so much, they're just like
joking around
nonstop.
Really? Oh, that's cute.
I love it. Any drawing tips? Yes.
Yeah.
Something.
Hey, Yumikui.
That's wild, Katsua.
Yeah, that is wild. I'm glad that your PC's still normal, though.
Looks like it's time to get an external flash drive to keep pieces on. We have some backups in place here.
Yeah, or like those extra batteries that will keep the PC running. And
yeah, we've got batteries that keep things running if the power goes out. We've got hard drives that store our stuff that periodically get updated and are in drawers. Anything, got any recommendations? Anything that keeps things safe.
Am I doing this right?
School has been so stressful, I haven't been able to join.
Aw.
Well, come here to de-stress. Yeah. I'm doing time to figure drawings with references. Do you think that's a good practice?
Yes,
For sure.
For sure.
It's a great practice. Of course, like, it depends on the process that you're using, but generally it's a very good practice. What the heck was that?
I have no clue.
It, like, expanded from the middle.
Yeah, that's weird.
Wait, let me try something. It'd be like this. No, it didn't. Watch. See?
Yeah,
it
that's
still
weird.
didn't do it. How did you do that?
I have no clue how I did that. I just drew a random line. And then...
It just...
that's not working either.
It's weird.
No, I have no clue.
Wait, hold up.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. It still didn't do it. Wait, what if I did this?
Or, hold up. What if it was like... Nope.
No. That's crazy. It was a curve?
It was a curve?
No, it makes it straight. Oops. I can't replicate it. Yeah, she like drew a line and it didn't do the normal straight thing. It like the point where it was transforming from was like the center rather than the end.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I've never been able to make it do that. Well, maybe we should wrap up.
Sure.
Having trouble drawing poses for people, no matter how I try, it doesn't work. Watch Christina's video if you hate drawing poses or something like that.
Yeah. Or
if on YouTube,
learn this method.
Our YouTube channel is Draw Anime Academy, and she has a video on drawing poses. How do I draw cute anime waifus like the one on the right? Oh, you mean Miki?
You mean this one?
Or do you mean...
Or this one?
Are you talking about her? Is that on the right?
That's the only one that's on the right. I don't know what... I don't see any other
I'm back.
waifu.
Wow, how are you? I see that. I'm back. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for showing up. I think we're going to wrap it up there.
Yes.
Did you guys ever paint? Yes. I did a painting earlier today on stream. This. But if you mean traditional painting, yeah, also. Yeah, I did this earlier on stream.
Oh, I think they were probably talking about Tira, if that's what they meant on the
Tira.
right. Okay, then that makes sense. Is she a wife?
All overlay.
Okay.
I don't know.
You can take our chibi class. Our chibi class covers how to draw body types like this, but there's a bunch of waifus.
We have Mickey.
Technically, they're not really marryable.
We have
though.
Miko. We have June.
I should make Ray Christmas
Naomi.
stuff, and Naomi's kind of big, but I think that's because it was my fault.
She's definitely a chibi.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's cute. All right, everybody.
It's
Tira where? It was on YouTube, but now Miki's there,
now
so
Miki
you
has
missed it.
taken over. I think Tira's Santa overlay is probably one of my favorites. Very elegant.
Yes. Don't forget, by the way, Anime Art School is 20% off right now.
Right now.
With the code WINTER. You can go get the foundation school if you want to know how we do what we do, and eventually, make your own webcomic or manga, and you want to learn those fundamentals. Figure drawing, perspective, anatomy, drawing clothes, poses.
Yep.
All kinds of stuff.
really good exercises for improving
backgrounds, lighting,
rendering. There's lighting stuff.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, chat, look at that. See that picture right there? I've done so many of those that it's like Christina with bodies, right? Like I can kind of guesstimate what is going to happen just by kind of drawing. So like I'll do this from imagination because I kind of know the shapes that tend to happen. And then, you know, you can turn it into a painting pretty easily. I've done so many of those. What if I can't draw
at all? That's okay.
That's draw at all?
That's for you.
It is
from the beginning.
It starts you off. It's like a college. It starts you off from a college. Copycat says, I've been watching you for over 2 hours now. I love your works.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Appreciate it. Are they doing the live from TikTok studio or OBS? Both.
Both.
We have OBS throwing a vertical over to TikTok live studio. We're live on YouTube and TikTok. We use an app called Atum, A-I-T-U-M, and it allows you to have vertical and horizontal streaming at the same time. Mm-hmm. Are you guys streaming on a Wednesday? I think so.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, default. Actually, no, maybe not the default pressure curve.
Oh.
It's like a modified pressure curve. I don't even know where it is. It looks like this. It just makes it so you don't have to press as hard to get the brush completely dark, so it protects your wrist from strain.
My wrist hasn't felt any. Wait, has not felt.
My wrist has never felt better.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Has never felt better.
Yeah.
I was like,
what if I can't draw at all? It is a foundation school, so it'll start you off with the basics. But if you cannot draw at all, if you don't draw at all, you know, get ready to do a bunch of practice, because that's how you learn.
I feel like if I were to teach the heads and faces classes again, I would probably have people do this.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea. I feel like I could do like an exercise section. Oh, this makes me want to redo anime art school.
Anime art school is going to be like 1.5 years long by the time we get everything that we want in there. It's going to just keep growing, honestly, because like we're always figuring out new things to teach, and we're like, crap, like I gotta put that in there.
This is an iPad Pro 13-inch.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, a tree Demogorgon.
Oh, all right, everybody.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Appreciate you showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go ahead and pause my music. Meow, meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Sing it, chat.
Meow, 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 meow.
Pet the cats for me. There you go. There's Apple. All right. Good night. Have a good one. See ya. Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.